Adventures, and you're listening to Show X Live with Ken in his student accommodation all the way in Scotland, and Wade in his white windowless van? Uh-oh, I better get out of here. Enjoy the show!
Alrighty. So, kill the music so you can listen to... hopefully my great voice here. Hello! Oh, I know what's going to happen because I unplugged and moved things. And therefore...
we can barely hear you.
Exactly. Let's see.
It's like that little voice in the back of your head saying, I wouldn't do that, but you do it anyways.
It's when your levels are not actually up all the way like they're supposed to be, so that people can hear you through the stream. Oh, look at that. Things are bouncing now. It's almost like we're on the radio. Yes, this is what happens when I turn on and off the or move everything around to make room for everybody. Anyhow, so, hey everybody, welcome to Show X on VTWProductions.com. You're listening live at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT this Sunday, the 20th of August, 2017. And for those watching it on the video stream, you will see it now because this is a Gamefest show. So welcome everybody. We are joined today, of course, not by Ken because he's not at Gamefest, even though he teases me every time with on the invite list saying that he will. The liar. And beyond that, though, we are joined not by my normal crew. There's no El Campo here. There's no Beebs here. Wow, this is almost entirely new.
They don't know what dedication truly is.
Exactly. However, we do have a star-studded cast with us today. To my left, we have both Hide My Hair and Zenko from Zenko Akko Cosplay.
Sup?
Around the corner, for those who are fans of the VTW network and have been listening for years, we have a big shout-out to our friend Tabaxian in the room, live at Show X. What? What?
I'm here representing. I want to thank the crew, my family, and no, forget the family.
They had nothing to do with this. I don't know what you're talking about.
They weren't helpful with that.
No.
Oh, they could have done more. As well as, to round out the table at the moment, we are joined by the other half of Zenko Akko. Akko, on the side. How are you doing today, sir?
Not bad.
Mute, quiet, and like, what? I'm here. So, all right.
I exist.
And so for those who know the format of the Gamefest shows, as we have done in the past and will do today, we kind of go through and recap what happened this weekend. For all of you who unfortunately are not able to join us. That's all right. Deal and have fun. So we'll see. All right. So Gamefest, this is Summer Gamefest 2017, and it is definitely a Summer Gamefest. Even though Colorado was teasing us with cool weather over the last several weeks, it was not so this weekend. It actually started ramping up from where people first showed up on Thursday, where it was almost a comfortable, maybe, low 80s showing up as we started the week, and has progressed all the way through today, where it is ramping into the low to mid 90s today. Woohoo! Which would not be a problem, except when you have a basement full of large devices that like to put out large amounts of heat, as well as the bodies that run them that also do the same. So this is definitely a Summer Gamefest. And it probably would have been mitigated better, except that we were only running one air conditioner downstairs today, instead of in the past where we have at least two. Campo, you slacked. You didn't bring your... Oh, no, his one's dying. That's right. Dang it! I'll have to buy a new one.
Blame him anyways. He's not here to dispute it. So
yeah, this is true. Well, I had hoped he would have bring it because he normally puts one back in his corner. Instead, we have the one that, thank goodness, I think it was Hydroxycut that donated that one. The beautiful LG in the back that's been cranking like a champ for the past couple days.
Yeah.
Just helping mitigate somewhat, as well as, thanks to the houses, I've been running the AC much lower most of the time, and I should probably turn it down right now because the default's like 78 degrees. Yeah, it's kind of warm. Anyhow, so Gamefest kicked off this week on Thursday in multiple ways, actually bigger than I expected this time. First for me was heading up north to pick up one hide to bring along with, but on the way back to go and get Tabby. And so get from the airport and come back. Of course, I say this, I was the last or later to my own Gamefest than most people this time. I had to work, as happens, because I only have so many hours I can run away each year, and Japan killed most of my time off. But in going to work for, I think I even cut it short to like 8 hours on Thursday. But so I got in early, left early, but while I was there, I checked my phone, checked Messenger and such, and already got comments of people posting on the Gamefest page of being here when I wasn't. And, of course, that was El Campo, as he tends to kick things off. I think he said he rolled into the house about 8 in the morning. And I really wasn't sure, because I had messaged him when I was leaving the house at like 5:30, because he originally said, I'll be there at Odark 4, right? And I was like, okay, by all means. Was not. And so I was like, well, I got to go, and while I trust some people with my code, you guys don't have it. They were fortunate, though, because Hostile Parade, my cousin, was here, and they were able to rouse him enough to let them in the door. At which point, when I finally got back and we all arrived, let's see, how many people were already here? Because Campo was here.
8. Yeah, there's about 8 or 9 downstairs already gaming.
Yeah, so Gamefest started off lively and early this time, which was awesome, I guess. You know, that was good. And what we ended up, not everyone who promised came. I had it set up for 26 people, I think, this time. I killed the ones in the back corner. I reclaimed 3 for the main box this time, and we had people sitting at almost every position except for the last back row ones that we ended up using as kind of a workshop throughout the weekend.
Breaking stuff, I have to quick repair, build.
Fix. Every Game Fest would not be complete without something failing, dying, or giving you some kind of stress. Hey, Bruce. Hey. Sorry.
Hey.
At least it was at the end.
It's an honor to be one of the sacrifices for Game Fest.
So we've talked about in the past how, unfortunately, Game Fest, as much fun as it is, there's always trips to the candy store. This is no different. Some it's just for out-of-towners to be able to see and check it out. Other times it's because things require replacing. And this is no different. In fact, this is very similar to like a year plus ago when I had to replace some hardware for things. And for the exact same reason. To start things off, now I didn't go to candy store for that for a while. First went to Prep, trying to do things better this year, where Kuro donated to the cause a Steam cache server to hopefully make it better for all of our downloads, as having another place to go to get things locally instead of always having to hit the network. And actually, I don't think we had much problem with downloads this time.
No.
People were good. For all the people in here, people were very mature, very good about doing it ahead of time. Thank you, everyone who pre-downloaded, pre-configured, and got in.
You were the only one that didn't.
Wait, what? What are you talking about over there? All quiet, you
You were
two.
the one that didn't have everything already uploaded and downloaded. And
I think the
updated.
only things I hadn't turned on was Star Citizen and
Legends.
League of Legends. I think those are the only 2 I hadn't loaded for
The
the
one that
final
takes-
patches.
The longest.
It did take a while. That patch did hurt. But everything else I think was good, and we did that Thursday before everyone else showed up, so it wasn't so bad, and I think worked out just fine.
But before
And
the
yes,
crowd came.
Hando, as we talked about, somebody's PC did explode. But before that, we had other issues. So got the cache server going, or for the most part, I need to reconfigure the network to be able to use it again. But everything was going swimmingly, I'd say, for Thursday and most of Friday, until Friday night when it started to hurt, and then Saturday was painful on and off. But we're getting better. So, starting things out, Thursday, like I said, it was actually pretty full. Main things that I saw gamed on Thursday were PlayerUnknown's Battleground, which was a thing.
I have Windows 10 because I bought a cheap laptop for work.
Blue screen moment.
Alrighty, let's see. So that's going. However,
We're almost back in business.
You're not live right now, are you?
oh, I'm trying to be.
Did you say earlier I shouldn't have to wipe off the old paste?
You do wipe it off.
Yes.
You wipe it off.
You want a clean surface.
Surface, that's what I thought, okay.
You have alcohol over there?
Wayne City has alcohol here.
There's some. It might
There's
be
lots of
over by
alcohol
four.
here.
Yeah, there was
What kind
some
do you
over there.
want? Something that's not
Be
sticky in the
specific.
end.
All right.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess we should clarify what alcohol. Yeah.
One of 7.
Something that won't make the project smell like coffee or cherries afterwards.
Yeah, things and stuff, and this was a failure. I tried to have the show for you right here, but then my internet, no really my PC, decided to blue screen. But then we decided it's a bit more teal. And at least they give you love with a little smiley.
Sorry, I couldn't get back together.
Hey, everybody. So, please, talk amongst yourselves. As they can hear us again now.
Oh,
Oh, that's great. Yes.
Lovely.
hello.
So we just suffered the happy blue screen of death on the Windows 10 version side. Because Windows 10 felt they love you and they wanted to give you a little sign of, hey, we're killing your system and it's immediately shutting down. But hey, have a nice day.
Not that this isn't the first time or second or 100th time that whenever I do any kind of show that things decide to explode on themselves. Oh, that was yummy.
But I'd never actually seen the Windows 10 blue screen. It must be incredibly hard to achieve.
It takes skill.
Yet ShowX does it on a far too regular basis. So sorry about that, everybody. Yes, I think I was talking about things that were truly boring and enlivening before that died. And I tried to do an off-the-cuff rendition of Aperture Science music with my woes. All right, as I've been told many times, never to sing in public or on the internet. So, actually, I don't even know if that was Sam that died for me there. Oh, wait.
So we're telling Handel about we had one computer die on us, so apparently someone lost a water cooler.
Well, okay, no, we'll get to that, because the
hilarious.
deaths. First death of the weekend, because we were playing PlayerUnknown's Battleground. We'll get to more of the gaming stuff. I'll talk about technical issues first. So, as we just suffered one, and see if it happens over my shoulder again, as I'm not looking, is that... So first trouble was the network decided to poop itself. Essentially, everyone who recalls correctly, the router that I had, if you listened to my lightning stories, got electrified. It was electrifying all through the network to the point where it's dead. And thus the $300+ Asus beautiful, was it 3900 RT or something I had, was not functioning. And to get the network back up and running, at least to be ready for Gamefest to happen, was to sorry everybody, there's a blue screen, but it to get it all back together, I used my old Asus router that I had and worked fine back in the day until it gets warm and actually has to do stuff, which happened again this time. So instead of just running around in the same circle we did before, through the help of Kuro is amazing and does IT and networking for his job every day for telecom companies. He and I went looking, and actually, in much the same way as my older brother suggested, decided to up the ante a little bit and get a nicer brands of networking hardware. So we are now running, and as soon as I can do other things with 24/7 server back running, Ubiquity hardware that is really designed for high level. I've seen installations. In fact, the demo one they do for their wireless is through sports stadiums. The Stapleton Center or something like that. Somewhere
it's a
big.
beefy system.
Yeah, and it's set up where everything's meant to run over power over Ethernet, things like that, so you can actually just run the Ethernet cables and put multiple things around. Their docks are designed to handle hundreds of devices, things like this, and so we'll hope that that's enough to run, I don't know, a little show and a little bit of game festing. Anyhow, so we did that. Now, the challenge is it took us a little while, and I apologize for everyone who actually wanted to play games that weren't just, well, thankfully, backup of board games and Rock Band, but it took Kuro and I a little bit of hefty time to get everything back together in semblance of a running network. Because when you do run into commercial grade hardware, it's not quite as user friendly on the front end. Thankfully, the one we got, once we found out there were some firmware updates, they at least added some like wizards and configuration things that were both good and caused me to break the network again later.
Yeah, right in the
That
middle
one
of
was
a great game where I was
totally my
about-
fault.
I was about to get a chicken dinner, by the way.
I do not believe you.
I had 6 people left on Military Island, and they
geez.
shut down my network.
Oh, geez. So things happen, and a lot of it was my fault. Hopefully people still had fun. Anyhow, so had to replace that. Ended up with a power over IP, over Ethernet access point for the wireless, which allows for big broadcasting, can handle hundreds of active clients, and like 1,750 megabit per second throughput. So that should be able to handle everyone's phones, right? Hopefully phones. And got the main router together. It's now going through the switches. I've got some more things to do with that to try to speed it up. But it's running, working. I think has been mostly happy since. Minus the other hiccups we've had in the past that we had again, which was that of sorry for everyone who tries to play Blizzard games at a LAN party.
Oh,
Yeah,
Just don't, because Blizzard hates you.
That's
true.
And they are a terrible company and buy other companies' games.
Blizzard, I love you. You guys are great.
No, Tabby is lying. Because he knows you don't care about him and you're not going to give him anything free. Or fix your ability to network. Let alone the ability to handle multiple accounts coming from the same IP.
it came in waves.
And the problem is, we ran into this last Gamefest. it's not that it's one game. It's one thing if you're like all trying to play Diablo 4. I don't know, 4 people playing Diablo 3 together. Oh no.
I wasn't playing with anyone. I was playing solo.
Well, so this leads to the problem, is that when it's not that you're playing with or against someone or anything like that, it's how many Blizzard accounts are active at one time from one IP. All of a sudden, Blizzard's like, oh my god, you're DDoSing us. And so, essentially, everyone just started losing network connectivity constantly. Well, everyone who was playing things like League of Legends or PlayerUnknown had no problem. And so we did this before. We did the runabout. We checked the forums. Same thing happened. The only thing we could do, and I think it might have helped for some people, is we downloaded some free VPNs for people to try to spread out our logical IPs so that Blizzard wouldn't think that we're trying to do something nefarious when we're just trying to play your video games. Blizzard. Okay, so rant over for them, although I'll continue to forever rant about how Blizzard is a terrible company and have never innovated since WoW. The original launch of WoW. I just saw my timeline on the Facebooks on social media where it said 8 years ago today, I was out in Anaheim, California for BlizzCon 2009.
Really?
Or it wasn't Anaheim, wherever that's at, that's right next to it. It might be Anaheim. But with Gnomewise and, and Daxa, Grail, everyone like that. And the time that unfortunately Total Biscuit got stuck at customs and was not allowed, or immigration or whatever, was not allowed in the country. And got turned around and couldn't see his wife or kid or anything. It was terrible. But 2009 BlizzCon, the only one I've ever gone to, and even then prices were too high. Alright, so, yes, Blizzard, you suck. Anyhow, continuing on, so Blizzard games suffered. We got a little bit of Overwatch played, a little bit of Diablo, and people tried desperately. What was the other one that people were trying to play? I saw a little bit of Hearthstone trying to be played. People touched on the Blizz games, but we're not very much played, so that didn't happen. Also, the similar kind of thing happens, it seems like, to MechWarrior Online. Yeah. Whereas we did that and had a bunch of people online, and the same thing happened. So I don't give Piranha Games a full pass either. Bad. All right.
Shame on you.
Shame. What other things? So that was gaming that part. Friday night party. So Thursday went off more traditional gaming, although I think we did turn it into some Rock Band Thursday night as well.
Yes, we did.
That was pretty.
So because it happens every time, I spent maybe far too much money on a few more songs. Try to expand that out because people apparently don't only want to sing Pink and No Doubt. I don't know why, but they like other songs too. Whatever. So did add some more to that. That went late. What was it else? Zenko provided us tea to keep us going first day.
Yeah.
I think even into second. The people have been able to partake in such a way that I'm very happy that, it's kind of like we keep throwing tea parties whenever Zenko Akko's around, which is tons of fun for us.
That's why we call her our team answer.
Yes!
She's the team
new
answer.
term coined. She has a new title to go with, the team answer. It is an amazing role where you know all things steamy hot and how you steam. So much tea to be had. We did very well for foods. I think we made it about halfway through the burgers you guys provided, as well as always, people are very generous bringing foods. In fact, Brucey, Mad Stunty back there, brought a bunch of Taco Bell that's sitting on the table right now. And so we did well for foods, although I will say we had a plethora of chips.
Yes, that was
So many chips.
That was Mount Chipmore.
Yes. Chips everywhere.
Some of us who decided not to eat proper meals, just snacking all day.
Hey, well, I know several people that
Lived
existed
off of
mostly
chips.
off of yes,
I feel called out.
not even baked goods, fried and such.
I thought I just saw a bowl of potato chips of Doritos and Fritos mashed into a cup and made like cereal. And I do have a photo of that.
There is proof.
Yikes.
I realized I can't do that because I was the old man at this party. And I do now remember why I can't do stuff like that anymore. Because I'm going to go home, and thank God I have the word Xantax in my bag. Because that has gotten me through this Gamefest.
Okay, so, that was some of the things. Because I have a table full of basically newbies here, I do want to reach out and kind of get some initial impressions. Gastro issues aside, and I want to give props, yet also call out some of the people here at Gamefest this time. We had some champs. I want to give credit to those at the table here who hung it through all of the weekend, all 3+ days of gaming and such, going late each night, getting up mostly early each day. And
4 hours of sleep every night.
no, I'm pointing past you.
Yeah. Me that's been lounging in
I
bed.
I credit the fact that my wife's here, so I'm not drawing aggro by being here.
As though others who have left us already to try to satisfy such
The
aggro.
early morning theme today was the white crack
The
roast.
number of people that have cleared out of Gamefest saying, so the wife is looking for me, and I need to go.
She doesn't believe I'm in the basement working anymore, so...
She might have actually checked and noticed that none of my electronics were there. But so people have bailed, as they usually do before the show. Normally they run away because they're afraid that people are going to hear them or see them on camera. This time it was for entirely different reasons. But, okay, going around the table, and feel free to jump in with anyone's opinions, but some of you have at least seen Gamefest to some degrees. Enko Akko have witnessed by coming by on a Friday night and experiencing. I think both Hyde and Tabby, this was your first at all experience for one of our LAN party Gamefests.
It's true.
And so, what were some of your initial impressions, both walking into the house itself, let alone coming into the basement to see how it's set up? And I'm saying speaking to the mic when you...
Oh, thanks.
Regale
Who are you pointing at? What?
So what were thoughts initially coming to the house and seeing the nonsense?
I was really excited to see that many computers set up all in one place. I've never actually been to a LAN party before, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, and this is one of those things, because for the younger generation, basically those who didn't grow up where the only way you could connect was via, I don't know, BNC token ring, like I did, 10 base T, woohoo! And make sure you have your terminators at the end of your token ring. Yeah, old school networking right there, baby.
Oh no, my gosh, yes.
Why is there so much packet loss?
Because-
Because they're leaking out the back end of your network. Wait, they can do that? Yes, they could, kids. But so yeah, the idea, a lot of people unfortunately these days don't get to experience LAN parties. Now I say this, there is an epic one coming up here in Denver, DreamHack, that we'll be going to in October for a lot of the VTWs. I think we have 20 or 30 people associated with us going to DreamHack, which is a 1,000-seat LAN party down at the Western Complex off 70 here, which is amazing. I can't wait. But anyhow, for others, Gamefest is honestly one of the biggest LAN parties you can get to that's not a funded, sponsored event. I win. Who wants to sponsor me?
Cherries? Honest truth? Yeah.
Okay, so it was one who was seeing all the computers set up and now granted, I know like Hyde, you've seen the basement in various configurations from costuming and doing other kinds of just, be it photography, whatever, things like that, but seeing it set up for Gamefest, how is that different? It's almost like someone like Hyde could have been on air at some point on her own podcast. We'd have the ability to just talk randomly, openly, whenever someone asks a question.
Yeah.
Seem pretty talkative upstairs, I'm just saying.
I was very passionate about coffee.
Yeah. Well, so you're even partaking of caffeine now. What the heck?
I'm sorry. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned.
For those who have not received enough caffeine to get them back up to their 85% body weight to be able to actually focus, Tabby, how about you coming into Death's house and seeing what was going on with the LAN party here?
Actually, coming from the old schools where I did do a lot of LAN parties, this was incredible. Your setup is amazing. I love the fault floor, how you have everything pre-ported. That is incredible. And I remember you talked about it when I first learned when you had the flood, and you were showing pictures of having to rip this out and redo a lot of this. That's just well built. That's planned ahead. And I think it made everything so smooth for someone to set up, plug right into the network. You have a power output, and your paneling over here is wired correctly. It looks great. Easy access. It's beautiful. It was absolutely well done.
It's almost like I've taken a networking class back when I was getting a CCNA or something.
You think?
But it is one of the better steps, and it's one of the reasons I realized for old schoolers like Matt Stunty in the back, and I don't think any other old schoolers are here right now, that made it gravitate to my house, was just making it so easy that you just show up and plug in.
Yeah.
And you're going. And for the most part, the network's ready for you. And I don't know, we talked about this, and Brucey, you might have an opinion. Because you used to do all the old school Game Fest and such, and well, no, not even just that, but it's what it took to set up on that Friday for Game Fest when we first started.
Yeah, when they had to encourage you to bring your own network cables and your own power strips, and you dragged an extra duffel sack with you. Yep.
Yeah, well, that and just it was because you'd have to find your space. We used to have to run extension cords from every different outlet in the house so we didn't blow one fuse.
Right.
Because the one I will always remember is Serpensor going down his house in Castle Rock and walking downstairs into the basement, and there was a bundle of extension cords next to each other. And throughout the weekend, I didn't think much of it until I was walking at one point, and I kind of put my hand down near it, and it was radiating heat.
Oh no.
Like almost a foot away from it. I was like, fire hazard much? And we still popped networks then, because all of a sudden it'd be like boom, and 4 computers would shut off. And you're just like, let's go not turn on the blender while we have these ones on. Yeah, let's not do that. So yeah, I had the opportunity when I built the house. I said, I know Gamefest is a great thing. We had been doing it for years by that point, so I wanted to focus on that. And you see, yeah, I tried to make it easy. You missed when I did the Epic Mega. Oh wait, was it Epic Mega or last one? Just last Gamefest where I had the biggest turnout. I actually had gotten to the point where you see some of the remnant names on tables.
Yeah.
Where I was like, hey, here's an easy way for people to know where they sit. I'll write their names and put it on sticky on the table in front of them. Oh, and I'll take, just like I'd seen at the local LAN party that I've gone to before in Denver, you take the network cable, pre-plug it in, and tape it right next to their name.
Yep.
So they just plug
that
in.
was good.
So I'm learning. I will make this better. Who wants to sponsor?
Sure.
All right, so setup and all that's great. And then the other thing is just this many people, right, that are all here to play games, mostly to play games together. Neverwinter Nights. He's not listening.
Hey, I was just doing my daily logins.
I saw a lot of Neverwinter over there. Just saying.
The game's very needy. I'm pretty much done with it.
But no, I think it was great, and for the most part, because we always try to go to the free-to-play games, big ups to those who went out of their way to get every one of them that was on the list and get pre-installed, ready to go. Props, I appreciate it.
It was good.
Yes. Well, and I actually saw that around several people's computers around where it's like people took it to heart when I posted the games list and took their time to actually like get everything updated, which was nice.
It helps.
Because again, we've had very little download issues throughout. A couple things where, again, when network was jacked and stuff, I had to do some things, fix it. Backhap.
See you guys.
More runaway.
Yes, nobody wants to stay around and be on air. So let's see, what else happened that was notable? What?
Now, in my defense, I did pick up PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds specifically for this Game Fest. However, whenever I was available for a match, everybody was already nose deep in
But you need to start as single player so you're playing and learn it, and then you say, hey guys, who wants to duo?
And maybe not have my nose in Neverwinter Nights doing it.
Right. That's right. There were several times I'd look at my Steam list and see like people that were in several games at once. I think even on hides, every time I'd drop in, it would be like playing both Diablo III and League of Legends at the same time. Which normally you don't see. It says one thing, but it would pop up like both. Like one, and then the
Just
other.
haven't closed the cloud.
And so, well, you
I
say
like to
that.
be ready to do
Oh, no,
anything
mine-
at the drop of a hat.
Dang it, mine rebooted, so I hope I saved that state. Sorry, my Ocarina game was still up before the crash.
Oh no.
No, I'm pretty sure I saved state, because I had just finished the Forest Temple. Yeah.
Nice.
Now I have to go get Ipana.
Wait till you get to water.
I have to chat, yes. The first times.
He hasn't played through the water temple yet, guys.
I got the
Exactly.
shush.
No guides.
No, you say that. I am guiding all the way through so that I can play all of the Zelda games I've never played
No.
before I die.
Okay,
No,
well,
but
no.
that's not.
Same thing with
You can't
Kingdom
use
That's not
Hearts.
the
Hearts.
experience. You have to experience the
I've
water
heard
temple.
everything. I learned from other people's experiences. This is why I've only thrown up from alcohol once in my life. It's because I learned from other people's stories, and I've heard the water temple is terrible.
So you know what you're not allowed to do?
What?
Use the guide specifically in the water temple.
This sounds
What
like
she
a
said.
bad
If you use a
idea.
guide the rest of the game, I don't even
Okay,
care. Just
how
not through
about-
the water
That's true.
temple.
How about if I don't
you gotta raw
follow?
dog it.
Wait, I will do a compromise. For those who watch my terrible stream when I do this, I will read the guide through once before even doing the thing.
No.
No.
And then I have to memorize because it tells you
No.
all the
Denied.
stuff, and just try to get through it after that.
No.
That way, having just a general understanding of what my goal is.
No.
Nope. Everyone, if you don't do the water temple blind, you're just missing out on like one of the key experiences.
You hear the words
of
he
Ocarina
uses
of
over
Time.
here, where he says "misses out."
All right, let me put it this way. If you use a guide on your first playthrough of the water temple, no one will ever have any respect for you again.
It's true.
Nobody respects me now. I'm okay with this.
I won't respect you.
I am very comfortable in my lack of respect. But we'll see.
Where's your pride as a gamer, man?
The pride in the gamer is looking at the Steam list of over 400 games, of which half I've never installed because I'll never have time to finish them. Unless I win the lottery tomorrow and dedicate myself to nothing but gaming.
What?
sounds like a
social
you-
life? What? Nah.
No, the 40-hour-a-week time sink that I have to spend my time not gaming.
Sounds like a you problem.
It is. It's one that's going to cause me to use a guide in the water temple.
No.
So, you are all terrible people.
Just that one.
Why would you wish
Adamant
pain
they
on
are
others?
about this. I've only heard about it. I have
Right.
not played.
But why would you wish such pain on others? I thought I was a friend.
It's a memorable experience.
You
Call it
do
sadism.
Rain, man. You do Rain. Do it well.
I have to, trust me.
Call it sadism.
So anyhow, as we continue on this,
Mutual
the other one I
sadism.
wanted to
Don't
go
let
through-
friends
You guys are
play
terrible,
Water
terrible
Temple
people.
with it.
Friends don't let friends play the water temple first time through with a guide.
I don't know if that's friends you say, or if that's people who
Assisted
want to see
intervention.
their- people who want to see their friends suffer.
Yeah.
Don't let their friends use a
Mutual
guide.
sadism.
Mutual sadism.
Oh God, you guys are terrible. All right,
you
what
two are
else is
teaming
going
up.
on? So,
Because we understand the importance.
other things that happen throughout. So hardware issues I will throw out before Stunty's working over there. Today, like I said, he got through the weekend, but today or was it yesterday, Bruce, that you were starting to run into it? This morning, started seeing.
Neverwinter, oddly enough.
Wow, would never have seen that coming. But had some pixelation issues and tearing going on in the screen. And in doing so, oh God, see, Grayfield, you're getting in on this too? I hate. You guys don't worry about it.
Hey, I don't want to read
but
that.
essentially, Stunty also had an issue, and it was that his cooler was failing, and failed to the point that the closed-loop water cooling kit started leaking.
Ooh.
And I hope, because we don't know an answer, I hope and believe that what happened is that the water cooler started failing and therefore started overheating, and that not the coolant itself destroying any electronics. That is crossing the fingers, hoping for the best. Similar thing actually started happening to Hyde's computer, because initially had a water cooler set up but hadn't put it in. Had an original, gosh, I love you, Intel, default stock air cooler, and those amazing tabs you have to like kind of stick into the thing, twist, and say, it clicked, right? It clicked? This is going to hold against my motherboard if I ever breathe on it? No, it won't. Let alone if you ever have to change or move it, because then it even holds less, Intel, and whoever engineered designed that nonsense needs to be flogged. But we did, and so it started actually doing a similar thing. They are not going to give you free stuff. Stop it.
They were just thinking about sponsoring you, too.
Yeah.
I do like my 6850 I'm running.
He says to save his ass.
I keep hearing that the 7700s are really cool. Let alone those like top end $2,000 like 20 logical core chips that you have out there, right? Or is it 20 natural cores?
20 natural.
20 natural. Ooh, 40 logical cores. It would be a core for every PCI Express pipeline. Hey, Intel. How you doing? And then you have the AMD fanboys in the background who realize they will never catch up.
Threadripper's already faster. The struggle is real.
So when you do your synthetic benchmarks in the one thing that you do good at. Love you, Kuro. Thank you for helping me network.
Benchmarks, rendering,
Yeah, please.
software, 3D Mark.
I have still never seen one in the wild actually doing its job. I hear stories of how AMD is going to somehow be relevant again. But I do like the
Someday.
competition, so keep it up.
Yes.
Hey, Ryzen's already taking back 30% market share after.
We do have fanboys in the back here, apparently.
Well, no. So this has been a long-term battle here at Gamefest. Aaron is not here to be the main one fighting against me today, so Kuro is standing in his stead. But we have always had a difference of opinion on what is a good I won't say value. That's the wrong word from my mouth. What is a way to build a system to get your best gaming experience depending on your resources? I'm a huge advocate of Intel because most of my Intel builds, all of my Intel builds, have been solid ones that don't have like weird lagginess or issues like that, where I've had anecdotal evidence from many people with AMD machines where they just weren't quite as smooth as when they had an Intel build, let alone other things. Great for single application running, but when multi-processing issues. And so I've had nothing but love for Intel, but I do like the competition. Like I said, it's a philosophical discussion. Plus, I throw money at my problems.
Yay!
So that's why I won't use value at that. as I went out and bought a $300 setup for networking right after one died. Yay! Other people have fun. Let's see. So, okay, mine is technology news. What else is going on?
Yeah, talk about the tabletop game we had here.
Yes, please, because I didn't
great.
do any. So how was that, guys?
The first one they played was Scythe?
Yes.
Scythe.
I didn't
Scythe.
even play that one. That's, you played it, didn't you? No.
Did I?
Question?
What time was this? I may have.
This would have been Friday night's game session up there.
I played a little bit.
Let's
Yeah.
say, because we definitely had the guys bring out their board games. I know Adrian showed up. Our good friend from, what's his band? Edifice, who lets us play his music and such. He showed up and he brings board games every time. He's one of our friends who also has kind of the finds some new ones that most people have never heard of and says, let's play some games.
Yep.
So that happened. Some side there were several games up there I have never seen before.
Now, Saturday was the big one. We actually, we were doing stuff up there. We went up there and we had two main ones we played. One of the side ones we played was Acquire, which was kind of a business.
See, I heard it wrong the first time someone told me the name. I heard choir.
Acquire.
And I was like, how is choir a business thing?
It's different churches battle over venues and you send nuns at one another.
That is a game I would play.
You have nun battles in
The Holy
streets.
Trinity is coming for you.
Everyone gets a little father for each of their churches and see them grow. But we had Acquire, which is a stock building game. You build little businesses and you have to have them take over one another. And the goal of the game is to build up a business and liquefy it. That's the whole focus of the business.
Welcome to real life.
And it was great, I'll tell you, man. It felt great wiping out a company and all those people. But
Just like real life. Not like I know.
But the big one we played several times that everyone fell in love with, and thanks to one of the boys back at my house, Bryson, who is also known as Pleasure Pony here, he had me bring over Secret Hitler, which was a huge Kickstarter game. And we played multiple rounds of that. The whole idea of the game is you have multiple people trying to pass policies, either passing fascist or you're passing liberal policies. And of those group of people, you have one person who's actually Hitler and a couple of fascists. The fascists know who Hitler is, but Hitler does not know who the fascists are. And their goal is to get a president to elect a chancellor to pass all these policies. And it is such an accusing game that with the group that we had up there was incredible. Because there's one point in the fascist policies where the president can shoot somebody. And,
Yes, glorious.
By fork. So, as certain people got shot, not because of the strategy of the game, because you want to shoot the other party, but more of just in spite that I get to kill you in this game, and it feels darn good about it. It ended up of the 5 games we played, I think. Liberals won 4 out of the 5. No, 3 out of 5. Fascists won twice. One time with policies. One time Hitler got elected as chancellor. And
You know the rest.
yeah, and it's all downhill from there, folks. But that one ended up being a huge play party. And the last game we played, several members got really, really drunk. So that became very interesting. Of them
Shoot everybody!
Yeah, well, no one knows how to count, apparently. Because you can't get an odd number of votes when you have even number of people voting. So,
Abstentions.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Wait, you say you can't.
yeah, no.
Did it happen?
It happened twice from the drunk people playing. So it's like you can no longer count your own ballots. You have to have someone stand up.
Maths.
Wasn't there another one where Hitler didn't realize he was Hitler?
That was the last game. He was so drunk.
If only that was true.
He actually got shot because he was just way gone. He goes, I'm done. Are you Hitler? No, I'm just a regular Joe.
Wait a
Well,
second.
yeah, it was Joe. So give me your card. You're Hitler, dude. Oh, that's right. The fact is, he was Hitler twice that night. So, yeah, that was very interesting. And then it just evolved to
He was in denial.
great game. If everyone can play it, it's a wonderful game. It's really fun. Very charismatic people playing it. It gets really interesting because we were definitely into our southern. I was doing the kind of southern preachers, politician style. That's how I played the game as.
Nice.
So I was more like Foghorn Leghorn with the moto. We had a couple of people playing very Russian-esque.
Nice.
So I know Tron was very Russian to the whole game.
Oh, Actually, that's a good moment of things to pick up and do shout-outs for. Big shout-outs for all the people doing all of the travels to get here.
Yes.
Because not only do we have a wild tabaxian in the room that came all the way from another coast into this, flying over big hilly hills and stuff in the Rockies and making his way safely here.
I flew. Literally, I'm Mercy. I sprouted wings and I flew.
Well, the beauty was he actually...
glorious.
Well, so he was mercying behind someone else that was flying, basically a flock of geese, and was able to just hold that tail and ride it all the way in.
All right, so I learned how to manage my energy when I fly. It's just easy.
But so getting Tabby and such, but we also had Tromad, who came in all the way from St. Louis and drove like the 13-hour drive to get here on Thursday.
I'm going to give him props. He left this morning, and he's now heading through the totality zone to get home. I wish him the best of luck, and if you're hearing this, I hope you're not on the side of the road stuck in traffic with everybody
Yes,
else.
please be safe. Other shout-outs go to, well, all around the room, but to Beebs, who is listening. Actually, I was on Skype, but since the blue screen, sorry, Beebs.
Yeah, he's probably
Skype
trying
is
to
not
listen
back.
to us while he drives.
Hopefully you're listening on YouTube, because I'm not calling you back. I blame Skype this time. Why not? Blue screen.
And they were just about to sponsor you.
Oh gosh, if anybody outside of our actual sponsors, which is basically just Typefrag, for giving us our lovely, in the past Ventrilo and now TeamSpeak server, as well as they also do Mumble. So thank you, Typefrag, because you did help with Gamefest this weekend. For those who didn't want to go to the evil Discords.
It's true.
And so we do have our holdouts who are only on the Typefrag. So thank you very much, Typefrag, for TeamSpeak and all those servers that you provide us. We definitely use it. You too can get to your servers. They have great hosting around the country with all kinds of different low latency servers. Yeah, look, I didn't add real time. All right, so beyond that, so Beebs, who has been a long-standing Gamefester, the Beebs, but is unfortunately also on the road right now as he is driving to Texas. Because unfortunately, being a military member, they finally caught up with him and said, you can't just end your career in Denver when you still have a decade to go. And so he is now transitioning to an entire new duty and eventually will be heading out to Korea. So much love and safety to the Beebs. Thank you for coming out for this last Game Fest before you're out of town. Know that you're always welcome to come back. Just give me a heads up so I can save you a seat.
He's going to the best, one of the greatest countries for internet in the world. So he's
upgrading speed there.
Yeah, exactly. When everything's fiber. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, but the latency. I've played with people out there. Ooh, you have to play with like Australians and such, or you have to play with Koreans. At which point you lose
scary.
In every game.
That's a scary proposition, honestly.
That, or he's going to come back really scary good. So there could be that. But so shout out to Beebs and the fact that he was driving a 3000 GT on the road. So for those who understand, you know.
Still driving.
Yeah, I think he's driving that out there. That's crazy.
That's to Texas, folks, not to Korea.
Yeah.
Only my Prius can do water runs, so...
yeah, that would be pretty phenomenal. What else do we have? So, another big general shout out, and yes, sads and cries, but we also tossed one out for our friend DJ Bullock for Dr. Genkadesho, who unfortunately passed away a couple months ago. You guys know when I talked about all that. So we definitely had a moment for him. We had a lot of his friends here, both us in Gamefest as well as a couple of his friends that he had invited to Gamefest every time, but he had never made it. They came this time for him. So that was really nice. And we'll always miss you, Ben. So thank you very much. But yeah, no. So we had people from all over, and it really filled out, which was great. Let's see. I'm trying to think other new ones we have, but yeah, we had a rotating cast of Gamefesters. Mm-hmm. All right, so board games wise, great fun. Rock Band, always great fun. It's amazing how alcohol and the ability to sing loudly into microphones seems to go along well for everyone.
Actually, I heard a great rendition of Whip It. I'll admit that.
I was not there for that.
Yes,
That was impressive.
that was very
Now I'm
impressive.
sad.
It was Hannah.
Oh, really?
She got into it. Now I don't know if it's
She does love that song. Well, so I give
or there's
Chris.
some more.
She does love that one.
to that song. She was,
It does speak to her.
More ways than one.
But no, so it's actually entertaining because there are a lot of people coming to Game Fest as well just to entertain, party, have some food, and hang out with others. And Rock Band seems to be one of those things that just draws people. Hannah's someone who I've learned over con life and doing other things with, knows a lot of music.
She
And
does.
like all the words, right? Like, and way older than her age would suggest.
Yeah.
Because she's hanging with me for songs where I look at her like, you know this? She's like, well, yeah. And she's like,
Yeah, she gives us a hard time because we literally know no music. So
Yes, we always say
then
never
she really gets on our case.
never underestimate our lack of pop culture knowledge.
It's true.
aw.
You had a great selection of songs. A lot of late 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, a lot of people were playing older stuff. It was wonderful to just sit there and listen to it.
Well, I mean, there's ones that are always in there. Things like Queen will always draw an audience, right? And so I buy all of those packs. And
I didn't mean to try to jump in for a Jimmy Buffett song or two, but I never got around to it. So
it's something that it's great because we're having 2 microphones, 2 guitars, and the drums. There's enough roles for people to jump in. And
Yes.
although surprisingly, normally we end out the night or go late when it's Tom Disboard. When we go late and it's normally Bohemian Rhapsody that we'll do at some point when a drunken frenzy because everyone will sing along. This time it actually got pulled out way early. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa! There's only like 6 people here. No, you can't do that. But it happened. And then, like, for me, the challenge is I'll totally be, and this is me for Game Fest. You guys probably saw this now that you've got to witness it. I don't sit in one place. I did play some games this time, which is good. Not board games, but actual computer games.
yeah,
And
got
Rock
you
Band.
into the War Thunder. Got you into that.
I played a round of War Thunder.
No,
Several.
a couple rounds.
Did I do so? Maybe. I helped get people started in
You
games.
crashed a lot, but it was all right.
Well, and then
Air combat, a little difficult.
well, because you guys see, I rarely get stuck in one position. I'm always bouncing around because I'm trying to make sure everyone's having fun and entertained. So hopefully that worked out, and hopefully everyone had a good time. But one of the things that will catch me is like, okay, guys, I got to run upstairs real quick to refresh my drink. And I go up there, and then Rock Band's on, and I hear a song. Something from maybe Jay Giles' band, like Centerfold, or something from The Cure, or Pink, or No Doubt, or GLaDOS. I mean, there's a handful of songs
If he hears, Rock Band on
Pretty much.
at all,
that, yes, it will totally stop me, and it will get me going. So that happened.
Ooh, shiny.
Yes. Well, again, it's being social with everyone, and Rock Band's just so easy and fun, and just pick it up and start singing anything. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, or bad and ugly.
All of the above.
I'm so terrible. What else? Oh, so as I was talking about others that have joined, we had some new people that are some of the people that I know through work that are not from this country who are equally overly surprised and
Yes.
happy with the experience of Game Fest. Some old school gamers from across the pond and from the prison planet that is Australia.
They were awesome for PUBG.
They were good.
I do, guys, if you listen to this, I am absolutely still horribly sorry for completely demolishing you two on the beach with a boat. Did not think the motion and
I
the
was gonna
forward
say.
ability of that boat would continue to smash your bodies into the dirt. And I truly feel horrible about that.
Were you also the group that someone pulled the pin in a grenade while you were driving?
No, that was me. And it wasn't a grenade, it was a smoke grenade, and everyone about crapped their pants. Because then they showed me a thing where they had somebody pull a live one of their grenades, but just held on to it, and the whole car exploded. Took everybody out by friendly fire.
That happened earlier this Game Fest.
Oh, friendly fire.
So, but yet it was bad with the boat because we were like, there was like maybe 7 other people left, if that, in the small zone. Oh, geez. And I wiped out our whole team with a boat.
So, while we're on the topic of apologizing and horrible mistakes, Wayne, I'm sorry for shooting you in the face with a shotgun repeatedly.
Wait.
Right next to me.
Shooting me in the face.
It wasn't
a couple
the
times,
face.
and
Until
then
you were
the back
dead.
It wasn't
to
the
put
face.
me down all the way.
Until
Not
you
to
were
shoot
dead.
me once or twice, but making sure as I was crawling, saying, "Hey guys, I'm down." Again, probably off the backside at this point,
I panicked.
just to make
This,
sure.
this is a good cautionary tale against random panic.
If
Make sure you
can-
check your targets.
If you're playing PlayerUnknown's
panicked.
Battleground, and you can see someone's name, they are a friendly.
I didn't.
No one else in the game is, but if they have a name, they are a friendly.
Look, mistakes were made, and I think that if we all work together, we can work to get past this.
I believe the deal
was
was
also-
made to make sure this is the first time that Excalus wasn't the first one to die.
It's true. I'm a bizarre canary. I could be hiding, somewhere nice, pretty safe. Random bullet from somewhere drops me.
I'll be like standing up, just not even
In the
holding my
middle of
weapon
the
right
field.
next to him, and he'll be the one to die.
Yes, and somehow you get shot in the back.
I'm crouched behind a rock.
Hey,
So, one of the things that should be talked about is just the game that is PlayerUnknown's Battleground. For those who haven't, I have been holding off for quite some time because it's in beta and it's been around for a while and they won't touch the price. I saw it sale once, so I was like, oh, I should get it on sale again, but it's been $30 ever since.
Yeah.
Even with the 15%, just give it to me for $22. Come on.
Yeah.
I know I'm cheap. But it is a game that a lot of people around the VTW community, especially on the TeamSpeaks and mostly on the Discord, have been playing a crud ton of what we have deemed or has been called PUBG. PUBG or PUBG. And so PUBG, which is a lot of fun, is a game that's very Hunger Games-esque or Battle Royale in the sense that you and 99 others get airdropped onto an island. And it starts out where you're basically in the back of a C-130 being flown over the same map every time. And at some point you have the option to choose when to jump out of said plane. In doing so, you're able to dive towards the earth and try to choose a location to start your crusade. As you get to there, you start basically naked in the sense that you have maybe pants and a shirt on, and that's it. And everybody is there to kill you, unless you're in a team, in which case you have either a duo or up to 4 people playing together.
Unless you want to kill them too.
At which point they have a name, and you shouldn't shoot them.
listen.
But if you play solo, you can shoot anybody. And so when you dive in, it's good to coordinate, especially on a team, to try to get to the same place. My suggestion is to go off the beaten path, unless you are that good, because most people often dive fairly close to the path the airplane coming in. And it comes in different routes every time you play, so you don't know exactly where on the map you'll have available. I like to, especially with the newer players who are trying to get fumbled through controls, because there is no tutorial in the game.
That was fun.
You go and dry, so you just better expect that's going to happen. Breathe.
That was fun.
But they throw you right into it. And so to get used to things, fly away from people, go into the first structures you can find, and find all of the guns. Thankfully, most guns will be somewhat near the ammunition they take when you first get started, and so get all of that. And, oh, by the way, switch to said guns and hit reload, because they don't come preloaded.
No, they practice good gun safety and don't leave guns that are loaded lying around.
But they do leave guns lying around everywhere.
Oh, everywhere.
As well as
Unless you're
the
unlucky.
ammunition, armor, various types of armor, everything from fashion wear like hats and sunglasses to ballistic mask, motorcycle helmets, and even into ballistic helmets, down to police vests, and I think maybe even more tactical type stuff than that.
Yeah,
Had a gas mask.
there's one thing you gotta
And
mention.
the most important item, if you can
Most
find,
important.
which is a melee item, but solves a dual purpose, is a frying pan,
Yes, the
That's
frying
fine.
pan of destiny.
which you wear over your ass and does protect you. Bullets will plink off of it if they hit you in the ass.
I think that was one of the greatest things they put into that game is a random
No frying pan.
shot where if you shot from behind, it can actually ricochet off the pan. You see it. You can see the ricochet, and it's one of the greatest feelings in the world. Thinking I survived for a moment longer until the next bullet hits you.
So you realize not to shoot low.
Yeah,
Zigzag.
zigzag, cardio,
Man,
cardio,
you
cardio.
feel like
cardio.
you should be able to zigzag so much better than you can. Oh, we got plucked out of so many vehicles. The games tend to last, anywhere from, well, it depends. For you,
It depends on where you
last
jump.
anywhere from moments to maybe up to not quite an hour, because I forget how long it takes for the map to shrink down completely. But as it starts, you have the whole island available to you, and once you land, you have a few moments before they dictate an area, a center point for a circle that is going to close in on you. It starts to, and you get about a 5-minute warning initially, and as the game progresses down to 2-minute warnings, and I think as low as 1 minute at the end. But in its doing so, you see where a circle is going to end up
Which is 25% of the map circle. It's like
Each time?
increments and 25%
of whatever's left, kind of thing.
until the point where it disappears.
Yeah,
There's
so
a
at the
point where
last
there's
point.
no circle and you're constantly taking damage.
And so the key there is, if you fall outside of the massive energy wall of blue, you start to tick down death. The first times it happens, it may not kill you, and so if you're in the process of getting into the safe circle, you may live. But the tighter it gets, the more damage it does. And we did have one where, man, we were running.
Oh man,
Running to
we were
murder.
good. We were gonna make it. We just had just enough life. We were gonna make it. We just get past that line, like already way behind the blue wall of death, and then
Well, even through like we hit our first aid and stuff like that to get past the
some
last
energy
little
drinks.
bits. Energy drinks and stuff like that, and let's go.
Good to go.
And unfortunately, it wasn't a quick process. We had stragglers.
Because we got jumped by like 3 guys.
Oh yeah, no, there was multiple levels of why we died this time, but it was essentially came through where people started dropping off, and the last part of the sprint was it you and I, or I know I was part of it.
I was in the vehicle, but I died before getting out of the wall.
Yeah, it might have been. It was. It was the
Yeah.
two of us. Hyde and I were the last two in our group running, and I had to keep healing because it was starting to tick down, tick down, tick. I think it was Tromad that was with us
Yeah, we were taking it. We'd
Yeah, 'cause
already
he
taken a
drove.
couple hits. Yeah.
because Tromad drove.
Drove.
He's driving now, but
Into some
man,
barrels.
well, it was that, or it was
Pun.
yeah, or it was Pun trying to take out a cooler, things like that occurred. But
Let me just run my car right into the side of this building. Oh, it hurt you guys. My bad.
It was destructible, right? It was supposed to be destructible.
Yeah.
Except for that small Coleman cooler that was in front of it, that apparently stops fast-moving, high mass
It
objects.
took down a quarter of all of our health.
But it would have been epic.
Okay, so long story short, we're booking it towards the dictated line, right, of safety, where the blue wall stops until the next timer begins, and basically the circle starts shrinking again, the blue wall starts going farther into the next dictated area. So we've almost made it to this line, like, the health is ticking down, we're running, we're like, we can make it, we're gonna make it!
We see the border.
We see
It's
it.
right
It is
there.
10 feet away! And then the next timer expired, and the blue wall started moving farther away from us.
It was at a point where
At high
it was
speeds.
going faster than we could. And so we almost had that moment reprieve of like, it's right there. It's
We
right
can
there.
do it!
To the point where I was the last one running. And I
died.
think Hyde was like cheering me on, looking at my screen as I was coming right up to the breach of it, and it went it just started going on. At which point I said, screw this, grabbed my last energy drink, and just decided to drink that as I died. Yeah. So, for those who don't understand, as much as this game is in beta right now, it's $30, it's pretty reasonable for anybody, it's a lot of fun.
It
It is. It's
And-
a lot more active than a lot of shooters because camping is generally discouraged because of the blue wall of death.
Yes, you can only
You can't camp.
if you're lucky enough to be towards the center of the next spot, and I've had this happen. Some of my better matches I did where I happened to be towards the middle, and it was a small building, I could just sit in there, and I sat down a hallway with a crossbow, or just a gun sitting there waiting. Somebody walked in, hey, blam! Ha-ha! Crap, now they know where I'm at. And where camping is good, but in this case, you have to not just be ahead of the blue line, you have to time it, because you have to see where it's going to be, and there are many times where you're at, because the key about the circle is it is not always the center of the circle, so it's not like you can predict where you need to go. The circle changes every location, like to a center point in that circle that currently exists. So as it rotates down, it can bounce around. So you may be lucky and start off either right in or on the border of the circle coming in, and so now you have like 2 minutes to kind of plot, plan, decide where you want to get, and hunker down.
Aim at people trying to avoid the blue wall of death and snipe them as
Where
they get in.
those who are further away have to make haste to get into a zone of safety, either by foot, depending on the zone, if you're lucky, by vehicle. Vehicle is definitely faster than the blue wall, but vehicles make noise.
And
Lots
take
of
gas.
noise.
They're also big, and people can shoot at them fairly easily.
Yes, and
Yeah, we're
people...
Driving along the road, and I get sniped right out of the car.
Yeah, it's amazing how often
Well,
that happens.
admittedly,
I can't
there were
do
like
that.
3 guys using machine guns just to hose at it.
Well, no, we had it, because what was it? When last time I was in the boat, and I think I was with Campo and someone else in that one, we were in the boat just cruising along and started getting shot at by someone plunking with one of the sniper rifle types.
Yeah.
Because we hear this thing just right and splash. I'm like, oh geez. And so back and forth, and what it was is one of our guys got hit really hard. I know I got hit once in the side or something because I was down to less than a quarter of life after one shot, and I even had a ballistics vest or something on. And then as we're getting really close to land, all of a sudden the boat just stopped, and it was like, are we getting? Oh, what? And we all bailed out to go. Didn't realize our driver had got shot.
Oh.
So he got plucked, single shot, got brained, and done. And we're like, oh, yeah. No, it is a lot of fun. This game, it allows you to work on your own or work together with up to 4 people to work in a military fashion. You go clear rooms, you get geared up, and at some point it's survival. You can win this game and you don't even have to pull the trigger.
Except at the end.
Not even then. People
They
have
die
won
outside
without
the
pulling a
circle
trigger.
and you survive.
Yeah, if you happen to be the lucky guy in the middle and someone else is not,
I've made it to third in solo. That's really
impressive.
nerve-wracking. It gets more and more nerve-wracking as the circle shrinks, because now you know there's, and it tells you there's like 5,
you
10,
constantly
15
get a
guys
list
alive.
of how many people are left in the top right.
So you see there's like, oh gosh, there's 15 people alive, and this
we've
isn't a
got
very
this in
big
the city
circle.
block, yes.
And greed will kill you with this game.
Oh gosh.
There's
So many times.
Just, oh, I get this, I get that. Oh, crap, there's a circle.
Yep. Oh yeah, either by ignorance or
Little
not
blow
paying attention to where you are in space and time, or it's the, oh look, there's an airdrop. Those crates are always shiny stuff. We got time, right? Let's go over there. And either they've been looted already and someone's waiting for you to run there so they can snipe you, which happens a lot, or I got one time a Tommy gun that I did kill one person with before I got brained.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. Although I had forgotten to switch. This is before I was very good at understanding you could switch the mode on the guns.
Oh,
So I was shooting a Tommy gun as a single shot.
Oh.
Ping, ping, and this guy's like, pop, pop, pop. I'm like, oh crap. And it was, I hit the button, hit B real quick, and then just unloaded, and he died. I was like, barely lived.
So you've got some really great moments, especially when you randomly walk around the corner and someone's there and you surprise each other, and now it's a Twitch death festival
Yes.
there.
Especially when it's a friend. No, this is not a reference to you.
Hey.
This is, if Unit was still here somewhere, Unit, and when he turns a corner and tries to shotgun the heck out of Campo, because again, friends, when you're all just happen to be looking in the same building.
If you don't keep track of each other,
Yeah.
you can very easily get startled. Noise is actually kind of startling in this game.
And it's important because you can hear vehicles, you can hear people walking. It's fun to close
Doors
doors behind
open.
you because you'll hear the door open.
There was a lot of things that led to me actually shooting Wayne multiple times. In my defense,
Mostly is pointing a gun in my general direction and pulling the trigger.
multiple times. So okay.
I like how you emphasize that again.
We did appreciate
We were getting
that-
attacked by a driver. I saw a car come up and someone get out. I was getting shot at, so I shot at the person in the car. It was
The
Wayne.
friendly car, where two of us that were on our team got out. But there's that. But yes, no, this game absolutely will create stories. Even for people who aren't big FPSers, you can play, and they have a beta mode now where it is FPS only. That's the stuff that Campo will only play. Does not like the third-person shooters. But by default, the game is designed to be run as a third-person shooter over the shoulder, so you can kind of see a little more what's going on around you. I have seen some epic examples of that. In fact, if you follow any of the VTW members who are playing on social media, they often will post up videos of kind of silly ones. I know Tromad and Sedno play a lot of them together, and I've seen some crazy videos of them. One time in particular where Sedno somehow glitched the game and was stuck in first-person shooter mode, but could only see when aimed down sights.
Yeah.
Whenever it would come out, it would glitch out the screen. So it could only aim down sights the whole time it was prone. And I want to say it was Tromad who got shot and killed, but was able to spectate in third person because it was third
So he
person
guided
match.
him blind. It was great.
And essentially, he's over there by the water tower. Okay, I can't see him. No, he's like tiny bit up. No, slide to the left, slide to the left. There, no, shoot. Pulls the trigger, like, oh, I think I got him once, and he starts running off. Oh, okay, you did. And then kind of that thing playing it together, and you just see him like sitting prone the whole time looking around. Thankfully, he was like so camouflaged in a bush that he couldn't have seen anything anyways, and so I don't think he could be seen. So the third-person camera was the only thing that made it work. Gosh, this game's got so much silliness. And it was one that I will say, honestly, I was very reluctant to pick up.
Same.
I'm happy we did. Very happy for it. It's been a blast. What else with that? Let's see.
I look forward to playing it instead of Neverwinter.
It would
We
be
look forward to
probably-
playing with you sometime.
It would be a solid pickup for anybody who wanted to check one out. I would definitely say go for it. Other ones that were either new to people playing this weekend or just that you saw a lot played that was interesting, we could talk League. I know this group on this side played a lot of League. I think
Lovely.
some of it, Tabby, what were you doing?
I
You
did
played
a
some
lot
of
of ARAMs with you guys.
Yeah.
So, I know we played a lot of ARAMs. I know you were supporting Pun and trying to get high enough level to play ARAMs.
He hasn't played in a while. He had to make a new account.
And so there was that. Eventually got up to the point where we could. So there were bot games happening here. We did a lot of ARAMs. You did some actual ranked because you
That's
hate
what I do.
yourself.
It's true. No. I hate everyone else. It's the way it works.
This is why you don't mean as support.
It's true. That's why I'm having to go back and pick, I don't know, carry roles now. Because I'm basically a support main. It's just trying to get out of gold just doesn't happen. Not as a support.
You have to get a high enough level to have people competent enough to do what you're trying to do. Anyone who's ever been in yellow hole or hell and like never been able to get out because the rest of your team is playing like their bots.
Yeah. No, stop running. No, don't go there.
No,
stop.
Not everybody goes in the same lane during the laning phase. There are many of these
I
lanes.
think I actually had one of the wildest matches in League of Legends, and it was an intermediate bots game. But we had one go AFK, we had a Brand that was just running just straight into Ziggs every time, just feeding him constantly, which was terrible. And so it was like me, my friend, who was maybe like level 4 at the time, like had nothing, was just doing free week stuff, and this one little Teemo, and we somehow made this glorious battle happen, and then that was also when the internet went out here. So I actually I was AFK for a while just because the internet crapped out. I couldn't communicate with like my friend, like nothing was working. So I come back, I've already died 3 times, like all of our turrets are gone, like they're in our base. But we made it. We won.
They came back!
Got my heart rate up. Oh my gosh.
I would admit one of the coolest things, it wasn't cool, but it was interesting to see is when we were all gaming and the internet crashed. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
But no one freaked out. There was nobody going, oh my god!
Well, they were preempted from the little bit of shyness before. This is after we replaced everything and it was running, but I couldn't get the access point for wireless to run quite consistently. So I had a brilliant idea. I would go back through the menu that was in there to reboot everything, but the basic menu, and choose to now incorporate and stream it together into a switch and let the access point work, which worked, by the way. But didn't realize the little tweak that when I had to do it, I didn't open up the right menu that said, oh, when you recreate the network, do it to the original subnet and base IP mask again. So instead of the 192.168. What I knew, it was .1.1 or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I didn't account for that little tab. So when I hit it again and everybody's accounts got switched because they were all on a network that no longer existed.
Listen.
Because that's where we'd have back and forth, though, like, oh, is it Blizzard doing it again? Oh, no, it's everyone.
I think it worked out really well, though, because I think that was the first time I realized I hadn't eaten yet. Let's go. The internet's out. I can't even talk to it. I guess I'll go get food?
I think most of the people looked down. My tummy's telling me something. That's what the noise was.
Oh.
What are you talking about? I had food all weekend.
It wasn't feedback. Healthy.
Yes.
The epitome of health.
Which I would like to give shouts out to the group. They're doing a solid job. I think my recycling bin is filled with probably more than a dozen empty bottles.
Yeah.
Not beer, mind you, but liquor. And so good job to those who helped. There's still more to be done today.
No, I gotta fly.
Well, some people have a concert tonight that need a pregame for.
Do not.
Please don't make a scene.
No. When you get up there.
Yeah, I'm flying Frontier, so I'm sitting like this.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Bring some hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Bring some bleach wipes.
You may not want to get too in-depth on there on this.
Scare them all. Wait, no, don't.
Frontier's a wonderful company for inexpensive flight rates.
Don't sponsor us. We really don't want it.
Actually, that one we don't mind.
I'm very mad at Frontier right now. Not only is the airlines charged me to bring on my bag, my carry bag, but when I went to check in last night, I had to pay an extra. They want me to pay an extra $12 just to book a seat. It's like, isn't that what my ticket's all about? I booked a seat, did I not?
Okay, so I have 2 sides for this. I have one. Is your ticket not less than a Greyhound ticket? How much did you pay for your ticket?
Oh, my ticket for this one was $130 to fly back. So
to fly one direction,
not cheap.
Okay,
it was
all right,
right there with
fair.
United and a few others.
All right, okay,
But
sounds good. So if you paid $50 for your ticket, suck it. Right. Second point.
Is that if you pay for a ticket?
No, if you paid only $50 for your ticket and you're complaining about having to pay $12 you can suck it. No, okay. There's that. The other side is, I do work for Frontier Airlines, and I cannot actually express my opinions on this matter
Thank
as
you.
much as I would really
for the
love to
legal
get
disclaimer.
into it. Okay, actually, I'd also like to say that my opinions do not reflect any of Frontier's. I do not work for Frontier. I work for a ground handling company. I am not mainline Frontier. I also don't like my job, so please don't do anything.
If you want to make it fair, if you want to take a pop shot at Sherry's, that's fine. But
What?
I will tell you, no, don't. Sherry's does sponsor Indie Podcast, and we do appreciate the free pies that you give us. Thank you.
And
Nice.
who wouldn't like pie?
Pie is truth.
Pie! Because it's not a cake, and thus not a lie.
Although, definitely bring some bleach wipes.
Yeah. I actually was looking
But in
at
all
it. You ever seen the
seriousness,
Naked Gun? The
I can't
body condom?
get into
Yeah, I think about throwing one of those on.
Oh my god.
I get into
Whoa,
this.
whoa, does that bring back a
Wait,
story?
no, I was just thinking. When flying Frontier, fly safe. Full body condom.
No. So there is a current problem with who is cleaning the aircraft, because the flight attendants don't want to do it and the aircraft cleaners don't want to do it because of they're both being told different things by their own unions, and now no one is doing it. So they're disgusting.
Yeah.
More so than normal.
But it wouldn't be so bad. Like, so
Brain
flying out here,
protection.
I mainly fly Southwest, and I felt
Same.
some Delta.
Same here.
Which has been good. When I went to Scotland, I flew Delta, which was wonderful.
And if you can fly overseas, fly Lufthansa. Because Lufthansa loves its people. It's German and has beer.
Hey, we love you.
And I want to fly back to
Lufthansa.
visit Ken in Scotland, but
Yeah,
also
same here.
Icelandic Air. Because Icelandic Air, you can stop in Iceland for any length of layover you want.
Yes.
And so, yes, I
Yes.
told you this. This is a place where you have a free weekend in Iceland, and you just have to end up in the UK and then come back the other way.
Again, we love you guys too. Sponsor.
Iceland, hey.
Yeah,
Okay.
hey.
But I'm flying over.
We like to
United.
travel, and we have passports.
Flying over
Stop
United.
kicking me.
I did not realize
You're the one
how
trying-
small their seats have gotten. Now,
Dude,
I'm not a very
everybody.
large man by any definition, but I do have a little bit of girth in my undercarriage. I have to say, sitting in that seat, I literally had to put my arms this way. Now, it was nice because they had a little screen that it had DirecTV on there, and of course for a
Focus your rose away.
you could watch TV if you wanted to. But to watch the TV, you would have to provide your own headphones, which okay, whatever. But you have to bring down the handrest.
No.
There is no room for any amount of people sitting in those seats to bring down the handrest to plug your headset in.
Those flight attendants had headphones for you.
No, I asked. They did not. They had to supply your own.
Every
They didn't
airline,
have any on that flight.
every airline has its joys.
I don't think it was like
It's been a while.
they had none. And
know,
I was
I'm
also in the
United.
back of the plane, so they could have handed them all out by then. But again,
They had 5 pair. 5.
which is that
sounds
no
about
big
right.
deal. It was no big deal. 'Cause, whatever. They had some junker show on. And I was just pretending, doing everyone's voices in my head, which goes along with the other voices in my head. So we're doing really well there.
Got entire
Very
cast.
entertaining. Got a lot accomplished.
But of course, again, I heard the stories of these seats getting smaller, but man, I had not felt it until that flight. Thinking, wow, this is just incredible, tiny these seats are.
Whereas Southwest
So-
treats you like adults.
I was gonna say it's getting to the point where that goes with Zenko and my least comfortable flight, which was to Japan in an airline designed for Japanese people. So while neither of us are particularly huge,
No, you're not.
I'm only about
we're
5'9", but my legs would really were
Average to
butting
smaller
up against
size.
the
We're
next
not allowed
seat.
to talk about your legs on air. Thank you.
They're too
Wink.
wonderful.
You guys are tiny people, little people.
Oh no, you missed. We had a day where I had lots of excess clothing sitting in some bags that I was supposed to donate to Goodwill at some point, but they're really nice clothes from previous people who've lived here. And I said, "Oh, I'll take care of that," and then forgot about it for like
Hotel
4 or
wing.
5 years. At which point, I brought
Yeah,
them out
where's my
to give
lavender towel?
to some disenfranchised or otherwise people who could better utilize said clothing. And randomly, amongst all of these clothes, we found what almost could be described as some N7 pants.
Basically,
They kind of look like Mass Effect pants.
they're almost like a tracksuit pant, but not.
But they got like those 2 stripes going down
the
the
red and
side.
white?
Yeah.
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 And black pants, but
Yeah.
and I would expect they were designed for a feminine form. However, considering that's almost the description of Matthew's lower half, it seemed to work
Oh, no.
surprisingly well. Oh no, you say this. Matthew's got some
Akko has
legs.
the best
and
legs.
I put many a woman to shame.
It's true.
It's true.
There were loud shouts of either "that's stupid" or
They're chiseled.
And not that
Wow,
we didn't
buddy.
go that step further of saying, well, you know, the whole purpose of like heals is to like really define. Oh, look, we happen to have some heals over here
that are ridiculously huge size.
that happen to
his
fit.
huge feet.
Which
happened
is
to
funny
fit him
because it would be very rare to actually find those kinds of shoes that would fit. So out of curiosity, I did decide to try them.
Do you still have them in your possession?
Yes.
Ondine brought them home.
Wow, it's college all over again.
Oh no, I was gonna say. So next Saturday night.
His legs are good. They are good.
Oh my. Yeah,
Maybe I should have put you on the board there, bending over.
yeah. Speaking of, let's
Looks like
see.
the hair shorter.
Did you see the added artwork that happened to the board?
Dude, you guys, I put up my great Mortimer's representation of my characters, and of course someone had to do a little risque artwork along with them.
So that is the constant fork edition, which is the I'm bent over. I don't know what happened, but look at my panties.
Yeah, and then someone put a tongue coming out of Mortimer's mouth.
Oh, there's more.
And yeah, and then of course I have a bear over here, and I give him a big beard because I think he looks like
He's got a big beard.
Torment, so,
Nice.
but yeah, it's got very interesting artwork here going on.
Yeah, some things happen with that. So there. Anyhow, it's amazing what happens when you're up at 4 a.m. and alcohol has been your one stimulant. Speaking of which, I was going to say big props to those who hung, like you guys, who basically did the late nights and early days. Those prisoners who came who only handled one day and had to leave. Now, granted, I give them credit; they stayed up all night.
Yeah.
I looked, I was like, I came in and I Gamefest. I sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours a night at Gamefest, and I went to bed. And I was like, oh, they're still playing. Cool. I got up, looked at them again as I came downstairs. Like, wait a second, the math doesn't work. And sure enough, they were still up and still gaming. And I think they were playing Age of Empires HD
Yeah.
or something at that point. And
Well,
the
you
best
can't
part,
just stop the game.
well, I laughed because I could tell that it had been a well-deserved night for them, because one of them's hair was at a point where it was definitely in its own world, and was crossed in so many ways. I mean, you've seen mine, and Zenko made comment that the longer Gamefest goes, the bigger mine grows.
It does. I
And
was
then I
really
shower and it
impressed.
goes, and then throughout the day it just like goes. It keeps floating and getting lighter weight. His was
impressive.
just kind of like. And I looked at it, I was like,
Looks like Superman's fortress on his head.
I was seriously, I was like, are you alright? He was like, I don't know how you guys do it. I think I'm done. I'm sorry. I've got to go. I can't do an Australian accent for anything, so it's going to be part Scottish, part terrible.
Just add extra letters, extra vowels. It's like, okay, so
Yeah,
here,
we
the
practiced
key to
this
the
before, but we
Australian.
always screwed up between Brit and Australia
No, it's
because they're
British,
the same
but like
country.
extra vowels. It's like
I
instead
keep
no,
hearing
it's
This
just throw a couple randos in there.
They take linguistic diphthongs to a whole new level.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, we were horrible people. But that's okay.
I was told my Australian accent was quite delightful
Oh, good.
by my Kiwi friends.
So I don't know if that's a proper measurement, because one, Kiwis don't exist, and two, there's a constant battle between Kiwis and Aussies, because
It's
Aussies
true.
say nothing nice about Kiwis.
Doesn't Aussies bite the head off Kiwis? Oh, whoa, wait a minute. I'm totally different.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's the best source. That's like when I do talk to the Brits and they're like, oh yeah, spot on. And it's like, anyhow.
Good discussion. Good discussion.
They looked a little ragged.
They were rough, they had to leave, but that's okay. I think they still had fun.
Yes.
I do believe from both of them they had that same kind of response of like, I have never been to an event like this. Thank you very much. It's nice to have this level of geekdom. Because the other piece of this is you start looking around, and the shirts people wear, the conversations that go on in the side ground, and this and that, just around various things. I know somebody might have brought up something about the existence of episodes 1 through and 3 of Star Wars, which may or may not have gotten me to rant for some period of time.
That was entertaining.
Because that happens.
Wayne was suddenly very passionate about it.
I got distracted talking to an Australian accountant about multi-jurisdictional taxes.
which you would do. I could see this.
This was a
And
good
his
time.
face lit up.
They
had a wonderful time.
Talk taxes. It's like, these are all my numbers. I know this. It's wonderful. It's so wonderful. Yeah, but it's great because it is just this mecca of geekdom. And so it's... And the term safe space is not accurate or right at all, but it's a fun place
Very unsafe.
where everyone can be equally whatever you want to call
Many
it.
butt touchings.
What?
I witnessed many butt touchings. I wouldn't call it a safe place.
No, that's a... oh, wait, there's a picture somebody posted of that. I do believe when Deslonky got here, and there may have been some joy in hay and rubbing,
Yeah.
but
They
somehow
was doing
that's...
Rock Band too.
Yeah, that might have done it with Alcohol
that
Rock
was just
Band and
fanboying.
Deslonky.
That's all it was.
And somebody might have posted that in a compromising way. Tabby.
I left no pockets of innuendo in there. I just let it nice and plain and simple. Let people draw their own conclusions.
As it should be. Good reporting. Journalistic integrity right
wait,
there.
I do not confirm or deny my.
Which cell phone on the first night? I'm thinking
Let our viewers
too many
make
stories.
up their
Please,
own minds.
enlighten us.
Nobody.
No, come on. Come up to a mic.
It got posted.
I'm trying to remember.
It got posted on the
Gamefest page, yeah.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's been a weekend.
Yeah, it has. I haven't gotten much sleep.
Good.
The first night, everybody's passed out in the living room, and
Oh! See, some
It
of us
was like
were in an
5 o'clock.
enclave upstairs away from that.
so it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm finally starting to fall asleep. And then somebody's cell phone starts going off, like an alarm. No, it was more like a Final Fantasy tune. Yeah.
Somehow.
Over and over.
Somehow.
So whoever was doing this didn't turn it off. They kept snoozing it, and I'd say about 10 times before I was like, ugh! And then finally it stopped. And then Nathan, or Kuro, started snoring really loud. So the first night I got maybe an hour of sleep.
Yeah!
An hour of sleep, and this isn't
That's
a consecutive hour. This is 5-minute spurts.
So, that does suck, because, I mean, at least you tried to go to actual sleep. Unlike others who had to be directed
Cough,
to
cough.
take sleep. Because they just decided to sit in their chairs and look pitiful and
No.
painful.
Pass out. Sleeping in the chair.
I was taking a light nap.
That was... Well...
My eyes were very tired. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I can't even see my screen anymore. I'll just close my eyes for a little bit. And next thing I know, I'm being shaken violently awake, being told it's time to go to bed.
I wouldn't say
Wake
anything
someone
about
up for
violence.
bed.
He was so gentle with you, though.
It was very, very endearing.
I was horribly ripped from my seat and sent to bed.
I was suggesting that there was this princess carry that needs to happen, but you were very offended by that idea.
I was offended by the idea of being taken away from my chair.
Yet somehow appreciated actual sleep.
I didn't realize you were asleep at first. You were
It
sitting
wasn't
straight up.
gender norming chivalry they did.
So, I work about 11 hours a day in a very similar style office chair. I've gotten practice.
I used to sleep talk when I worked customer service. Okay. My
Now
eyes
that's
would
a
be
skill.
closed.
Pick up the phone. Yes, you've reached this and this, and what did you need today?
No, I started dreaming one time. I was talking to this person. I
no.
started dreaming. I was like, in my dream, somebody fell in a puddle, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And the customer was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, somebody next to me just fell."
You know nothing,
God.
Jon Snow.
I do have stories from being
That's
at work
hilarious.
on the phone with somebody and nodding right in the middle of a conversation. And, well, this was way back. This is in my Navy days, where it had been a rough whatever, and was just working whatever, and a person from across the floor, mind you, but stuck on a position, called me up to ask something about what they were doing. And I picked it up, I was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on, Chuck?" "Oh, yeah. And Shady was sitting next to me when he worked for me, another friend, and they watched as I just started dipping while he was talking to me, and they were laughing. They were rolling out. They were being quiet, but they were just like, ah! To a point where I was just boom, out cold for a good solid 5 minutes.
I literally, working at Express Scripts, I literally taught myself a tick to shake my mouse when I started to fall asleep. To tap it to wake myself up.
I say, yeah.
And I still do that in my sleep now, and it pisses me off. Because I can't fall back asleep.
Forever mouse clicking. No screensavers. None.
Sure.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so one thing that does happen at Gamefest is because hours and time frames are all arbitrary, in the sense that some people have different schedules than others. Some people are able to hang, unlike others. Some
Old
people
men need their afternoon naps.
totally appropriate. I know many people in this room who napped at various times. It's completely welcome. And you know it's harsh because people will nap on the couch with the lights on with people playing Rock Band right next to them.
Yeah.
And will still pass out. Because that is when your gas tank has done gone empty.
I was singing pretty loud at one point too.
Oh, we do.
This guy in the room. Yeah.
I say that happens a lot. Reminds me, I gotta see if the windows are closed upstairs. But yeah, so that's a thing. But no, it's fun though because it's basically in this case 3.5 days of just continuous geek activity and stories to be had. We didn't watch any TV really this time. It was mostly games. A lot of conversation. Some Jenga happened, which I didn't partake of, which sucks because I always win.
Cat stacks.
Some cat stacks is still going on.
Cat stacks.
For
Sponsor
those
us.
like Grayfield who would appreciate cat stacks, it is a puzzle game where you have to stack various posed cats to fulfill a shape/height requirement on a card. And they all have very specific shapes, and supposedly it'll work. They have pictures of which cats you can use in each puzzle, and you have to fill every gap and make it a thing. And it has been occurring here for the past day and a half almost since it's been introduced.
It was introduced to me at the peak of my intoxication last night.
It was perfect timing.
And it was all-consuming.
Several hours.
And I thought at first that I was really
Not
terrible
several
at it
hours.
because I couldn't handle
From,
one
like,
of the
1
beginning
to
levels
4.
and then realized I had one of the wrong cats. And I could have solved it ages before.
If you'd actually used and followed the directions on the card.
Well, okay, 2 cats look similar, and since this was only like the first or second card I was doing, I didn't realize that there were 2 distinctive shapes that are wildly different.
So yes, Cat Stacks has been one of the other games that was brought forth that has been very popular, at least amongst this group over here, in this vicinity, as they are still playing during the show. So that is
All
good.
about the cats. About the cats. Oh man.
All started with cat pictures.
Yes, as well as some people delaying starting ARAMs because they're too busy looking at cats. Because cats on the internet are apparently more important than gaming.
And heartwarming.
This is gaming!
stories.
Cats on the internet is apparently more important than gaming at times. Like ARAMs.
Listen, okay, so my good friend, pun intentional, he has this beautiful, perfect, delightful cat. Her name is Moxie, and I get these blessings of videos and photos of this gorgeous model of a cat constantly. And it's the only thing that gets me through my workday, and I need to share how perfect and beautiful and wonderful she is because she deserves it.
Which could be done while in queue,
No,
waiting for a game to start.
Okay, now it is worth mentioning that we were in queue with Pun. He was doing that in queue with us.
But other people were in charge of hitting the button.
You know, the one's distracted.
I had more important things to be doing, and he was delaying the departure of this flight.
You want cat videos or cat pictures? I got 6 cats at home and 3 extra outdoor ones.
9.
Yes.
9, and I still have to catch 2 more.
Yes.
Anybody
catch?
Yes.
No.
Whoa, now that sounds a little bit more...
No, litter of baby kittens. I'm saving their lives. So if anybody wants kittens,
No.
I am fostering them.
Oh, by the way, at Gamefest, you take home a free cat when you
Yes, they come in the goodie bags along with a game of cat stacks.
There's goodie bags?
Yeah, I ordered room service, but not since I've gotten any room
Oh, here,
service this whole
here.
trip. So
So,
losing a store on that
Video
one.
makes my heart like.
we had this issue with our website. Customer service has been down. No, so yeah, it's been, I think, a great time. I'm
It's just
hoping,
so
like I
cute.
said, let's see.
For summer
Hey, it's that
2017, this turned out amazing. I look forward to the winter 2018.
Admittedly, winter ones tend to be easier to handle because we can open windows
A little.
and temperatures stay lower.
They weren't that bad. In fact, it was cooler downstairs half the time here than it was upstairs.
True.
It's like all the heat pushed north.
Yes, no, it does. And I mean, I turn the air on, and I push it, but man. Oh, what else happened? I did introduce more people to 3D printing this weekend.
Oh yes, a lot of 3D printing.
I had
stuff
one,
out
although
here.
my current prints are failing constantly, and this is a stack of plastic in front of me because I'm using a new filament. I am not the happy. That's 2 sludges I've made so far. Very the unhappy. But I had success, and I was able to make a Rise model, which actually came out pretty good, although I had to fight with cheap filament that is wound terribly, so I had to monitor it continuously and wrap as I went. But I think the highlight was when I was trying to figure out something to use my glow-in-the-dark filament on again.
Yes.
And so came out with a Zelda model.
I want
the crest here, which is actually a wall hook. I totally forgot that it has a little hole in the back that it could be hung up on a little nail.
Yep.
But so I used the glow-in-the-dark filament for it, which
That's
came out
gorgeous.
very well. And having the black lights on throughout the night so we can keep most of the lights off, these things just glow. You hold it up and it charges up to this bright, wonderful luminescence. But I think I printed 4 or 5 of these now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also in the goodie bags,
Yeah. Apparently also part of the goodie bags.
as well as tea.
That's right. You can print one up, send it with my gaming shirt that didn't arrive today.
Little full leaf tea bag as well. That's in the gift bags.
Yeah.
So admittedly, people have seen the VTW jerseys. I have one on the back of my seat right now, and they're a lovely, amazing thing. And I wish everyone who is a member of VTW would have one. They're only $105 whenever I get around at least 10 to 12 orders together to make them. And that's the key. I was really, really hoping to have them all done for this Game Fest because I had people flying out here who had ordered shirts or jerseys. But unfortunately, I had stragglers who couldn't commit. And in doing so, I had to do some fill-in
blankets.
to get to the number we needed and get them started. And so this will be me ordering another 2 jerseys that aren't for me. Awesome. But we got the order in, and I'm hoping that they will be done either next week or the week after, at which point I will get them out to everyone. Because they're awesome. And there's a likelihood, because I know Paz has been looking, to do a redesign that we may get a new face, new colors, new look, and a new type of jersey. I know some people have been looking for something non-hockey related jersey type, and so it may be more football or other sport. So we shall see. But look forward to refreshes on the VTW jersey. They're awesome.
Sweet.
So that'll happen. What other problematic things were going on? Shall apologize still. The 24/7 stream is down. I had it working. I had things sorted, and then licenses got jacked up again. I have to call and talk to Spatial again about Sam, because Sam, why do you have to be such a shitey program?
Sam, I am.
What else? I think that's all I have problematically.
No,
Yes.
Overall smooth. I mean, for the level you put into this and the years committed, you're on a path for such a memorable event. It's amazing. Wanting to return. I know Bryson is planning on going. I know Roxy really wanted to come to this.
Roxy's a tease. Roxy, you could have been here.
You could have been here because we had people driving right through Kansas City on the way here.
Absolutely could have picked you up in tow.
Yep. But her youngest.
Oh, why do people keep worried about Spawn? You give them a little.
First birthday.
It's just like good kid. You know the reason I like cats. You give them a little extra food, a little extra water, they're fine.
When they're 18 and 21, like I have, I just put food and water in a bowl,
Right?
and they're all right for the week.
Yes, and you put bigger diapers on, that's good. You don't have to worry about it.
Well,
That
I'm
works
happy
with
to
the older
say-
ones too.
I'm happy to say that this was my first one, and I'm glad it was here.
Good.
See?
My very first LAN party ever.
Same.
Oh, that's even better. Not
True.
only the first event, but first LAN party.
Yes, have popped some
that's
networking
good.
cherries here, which is a wonderful thing.
I'm uncomfortable.
Are you?
And we sat next to each other even.
Yeah, you got to pop it together.
And the FW.
We gave each other
just went
lots of
up.
support.
So it's good. You can hold hands, relax, breathe.
Breathe.
Let it happen.
Don't forget to breathe.
It's a good, safe environment,
sorry.
a lot of friends, a lot of memories, and that's what it's all about. When you want to get through events with people and friends, and as I said, I met a lot of great people. For a lot of time, some of them I played a lot with throughout the PUBG and Overwatch, but seeing them in person, it's a whole different environment.
And it is. And again, mine is not a professional LAN. I don't have any tournaments set up. We've done in the past. There's trophies around from tournaments we've hosted. Those tend to be a challenge because as much as people like the camaraderie and playing, it's amazing how right now, at least in our older wizened group, we don't have as many people who are actually wanting to put it on the line and look bad and terrible at certain games. Whereas you have people like me who are like, I'll participate in everything.
I'm terrible at most games.
But you were willing to try.
I shot you in the back.
I know. I remember that distinctly.
You were a quick
Betrayal.
learner, especially throwing you back into things like ARAMs.
I say, Gamefest is a great opportunity to see what else is hot, what people are playing, to get an idea what is out there multiplayer, which is always a good time. These weren't the only games. There was a lot of we played a little bit of War Thunder.
Yep.
A lot of free to plays. We had a lot of people playing Warframe. running together in groups of 4 with their Tenno.
Golf with friends.
Golf with Friends happened. I didn't play it this time. I should have, because Golf with
You
Friends is
should've.
silly fun. I did see you guys playing that some.
And then Paperboy on the arcade box with a few people.
Who is it? You know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you were telling us the story that you know
Scott
Paperboy.
Anderson, who does Dreamland Chronicles, we found out he was the model because his dad developed Paperboy in the Atari days. He was the model for the boy on the bike for that. That was a wonderful interview.
So Tabaxi knows Paperboy.
I know Paperboy.
That's a great game.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, so introduced a few people to the main box setup, and that's always kind of an appreciated, like, oh, retro. I know I had, John and his fiance playing Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
On stuff for a while because I have the little USB controller and things. So, yeah, no, I like to provide a variety of gaming experience for anyone. In fact, we even had, Kodama, who I haven't seen forever. Kodama-san actually showed up this Gamefest. I think it's honestly been 2 or 3 years since he's made one, maybe more. Because his older son is like 5 now, 4?
Yeah, he
and
was
the youngest is like 1.5.
It was awesome.
So had his eldest gaming, as well as had both of his kids and wife up playing Rock Band together.
Yep.
Because his eldest was loving the drums, just beating on them, and actually apparently started learning them. And I think his mother was quite surprised and was kind of like, we may need to get one of these. He's doing surprisingly well. He's finally getting it. So, yes, gaming for all ages. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I look forward to trying to bring my spawns out here next year for the Winterfest.
It's such a good time. So, admittedly, and we will continue to talk about this in lieu of news that my co-host may yet again have more of an opportunity to come out to the United States.
Yes.
In doing so, we know he's planning to make various stops along the way, but one that has been heavily suggested would be here in Colorado. And that he and his wife, the lovely Miss Kitten Features, should together come here to altitude so I can get them drunk as skunks. I mean, so that we could hopefully partake in a Gamefest event with him in person. And thus have our not first annual, but our second ever VTW Con. And maybe invite all of you to have one, because this would be one of these interesting ones. It'd be tough. It would be a weekend of essentially all good VTWers, people who are listeners to the show, things like that. We identify all those I see online here all the time to join us in person to partake of all the things that are VTW and gaming related. So look forward to news on that. We want to do that.
And those that pass through Portland, I recommend. This is a cultural environment of people across the United States that understand that you can call upon anywhere you go. If you're ever in the Portland area, I will more than happy pick you up and show you around town. Because there's so much around there.
Same thing with Colorado, absolutely.
Hospitality here has been amazing.
Yeah. One of the few places where for a weekend, and don't you dare know my address and try to take advantage of it, I basically unlock the door to my house and say, partake, come, have fun.
Until they take you to the Waffle House where you realize you have to go at 3 in the morning.
Well, it all depends on which Waffle House you choose. Everybody knows this.
Well, I apparently went to the one that needed 2 security guards to guard throughout the night.
Well, then you're
Waffle House.
safe. There's 2 security guards.
It means no guns inside. But when you step back out that door,
you're on your own. Get to the arcade, close the door, lock the door, hey, let's go.
Now, Waffle House, if you ever go and you're in Parker, Colorado, the one nice one in Colorado that is clean amongst a nice bedroom community, Parker, they actually have like normal people working in it who have all their teeth and generally smell nice.
Parker's very nice.
Yes, because we did that last time, right? Were you there? I know I took some people to the Parker one last time where there was a miscommunication and half of our group went to Mississippi, the one you went to, Tabby. The other half of us went to Parker.
During the daytime is the finest establishment.
Oh, Waffle House. Oh, I love these.
But I'm hoping next time we make it here, there's Dutch Brothers all around town.
Don't believe we do.
You do Colorado Springs.
Oh, do
you
we?
have one down there.
Actually, what I need to do one of these times is head up north and go to Runza and bring a whole bunch of frozen Runzas back.
No, you need to go to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and hit the Sherry's there and enjoy some great
Feet
cuisine.
are always where
pie
I
and
need to put
Sherry's.
my feet.
But yes, we will do a VTW Con. We will get people together. Last one we did was in Vegas years ago.
Yeah.
When VTW was just starting, had Octail and Hordak there, and met some others, and it was a good time. So that, or if we find a convention that everyone wants to go to, I always subscribe to things, the bigger ones, like if ever I make it San Diego Comic Con ever.
No, I think Atlanta, Dragon Con, would be the one that would be
So
amazing
Dragon
for
Con
us
that
to
I'm
do.
going to in 2 weeks and have no costume. Yes, it would be another good option. That one, though, has to be planned out more than a year in advance.
Yes.
Because you need hotels. So all of that. But so those things. All right. What else do we have going on from Gamefest? Because we still have 20 minutes. Let's see.
News and events.
I had some news actually. What was I going to say?
I have some news.
What
I've
do
been
you
getting
do?
kicked under the table this whole time.
It's the opposite.
Every time I try to put my feet down, your feet are exactly where mine need to be.
So you're trying to play footsie under the table.
So preemptive
Adorable.
cat, always underfoot.
No, I was getting kicked.
Children around the table. Please,
Violence.
we're on a show. This is professional.
Was there
Right.
any emails?
I haven't even looked. Because last time I touched my computer, bad things happened. But in the meantime, by all means.
We were staring at the trailers for Battlefront 2.
Yeah, talk about some of the cool shinies we were looking forward to.
That looks fun. So, being a fan of the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 and seeing the general disappointment that was the reboot of Battlefront, cautiously optimistic to see the trailers of the new rebooted Battlefront 2, which, looking at some of the gameplay footage, at least looks like it feels like the old one did.
I mean, to be fair, Battlefront 2 was the good one then.
it's true.
So maybe it'll also be the good one now. It did look really cool. I highly recommend anyone watching those trailers because I'm at least very excited for it. Cautiously excited, but I did enjoy it. It looks like it could be really good.
By the way, I got a shout out from my friend there, Perry, in the Eugene area, who has a recently new Munchkin, his second spawn of the gaming family.
Good,
I'm
good.
shouting out on the Facebook page here.
Congrats, friend.
I'm watching you, buddy. He's our airline expert. He works for the TSA, so he can't exactly give opinions, but he can give us usually more factual statements when we're usually completely wrong on the podcast.
As well as a special time in the line if ever you want to really get cared for and know that you're going to be safe on that flight.
He caresses very nicely. He's gentle with his touch.
Down to an art, then.
Good.
Why? Apparently, Wayne was not prepared with the emails this week.
I hit the button. He's doing things. Keep filling.
You keep
There's
this
been
up and we're
points
going to
in
blue screen
history
again.
when someone says they hit the button and bad things happen.
Well, then you
Was
have
it
other
red? Did it say detonate?
other random news I've seen then related to gaming would be Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
They're kind of bailing from.
Just getting
Just
dropped.
Kind of sad. It's only been a handful of months since its release. I
Yeah, what,
admit I
4?
haven't.
4 months?
5, I think.
About 5, I think.
Yeah.
They're cutting out support for it. No DLC. They announced, which is kind of sad
Dropping
because
it as a game.
it's a
The
great
numbers
series.
were decent coming into the purchase top, but as soon as it went released and the reviews came in, it's like
Tanked.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
sad to see because it's a lot of fun series. I mean, regardless of issues,
No, it's
which we'll
perfect.
not go into.
I know Keith from the podcast. He got it. He played a little bit. He wasn't overly enthused with it. He was.
I mean, I've heard that people say now it's getting better reviews, but it was one that everybody admits was advertised. It was said to be more than it ever really was.
In all fairness, I've heard that it's decent.
Now,
Which is
with
all
expectation
in all a
management,
disappointment.
meaning after everybody said this is crap, then when you buy it, say, well, it's not terrible. Oh, it's decent.
But you know what? I like this. I like when that happens because it shows the gaming companies that we're serious. If you promise a product, you darn well better deliver it by the time you release in some capacity what you promise. Otherwise, we're out of here. There's something better on the horizon.
Oh, if only more people would do that with Blizzard games.
It's true because it's almost like, I mean, in some cases, it's starting to see it.
I would love to not have to replay the same mission in Diablo in Season 11 just to level my character. If I could not have to play the same dang
can have,
level
like,
like
an
10
actual-
times in a row and not get
Wait,
booted right at
Wait, do you mean like an actual expansion to Diablo and not just a pay for another character that's a
No,
reskin of the
I'm
Voodoo
just
Doctor?
no. I'm literally asking for the capability to get through a single level without getting booted.
Oh, servers, yeah.
I know you're talking
It's
about
not
your
like-
version is paying for a reskin of a very game that you already own that does nothing more than just give it a little bit better
Oh,
pixelation.
you mean the
And take away
StarCraft?
And take away hats.
Give it hats.
Oh, wait, not Overwatch? Oh, you mean like the StarCraft HD remake, which is just StarCraft.
Or Overwatch, which is still ridiculously expensive. I don't want to pay that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to
It's
pick it
an
up.
arena
I just
game.
don't want
It
to pay
should be
quite that
$30
much.
for Overwatch.
Overwatch is Team Fortress 2 with waifus.
But minus
Without hats.
Yeah.
You get waifus, but you lose hats. So who's the
I mean,
real
yes,
winner?
May is
there
Bay,
one?
That's great.
Yeah.
Blizzard has so much potential because they have such great tie-in.
Because they have all of the money
Yes.
Yeah, I like they went with the Destiny 2, where you can buy Destiny 2 with
That's
WoW Gold.
okay. So let's talk some interesting information there.
Destiny.
Destiny 2.
Phew.
So for those who do actually appreciate or look at Blizzard products and maybe have the Blizzard app installed on their desktop, if you've logged into it at some recent time frame, you may have noticed a new tab, or not tab, but section at the bottom of your games
The
list.
Activision section.
One that is not Blizzard directly. What? What is our Bobby Kotick to do?
Blizzard
But
wants
make
to
more
be
blood money.
Steam.
Yes.
That's pretty much what
God.
it is.
And everybody else, right? I wanna be like Steam.
Well, everyone's playing catch up. Even so, if you go to the other arenas, movies. You have Disney trying to be Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean,
Would you guys please just accept that there are distribution networks out there that already do a lovely job of it, and please just work with them in a fair means. Us as consumers do not want to have to load, activate, or somehow go through a dozen different loaders when we want to play a damn game.
Yeah, we'll ignore your.
We would like to use Steam, period, admittedly. I know people who hate Steam, I do, but it's the best and just accept it.
And there's no argument there. Give me arguments against it because it's for a platform for everyone to focus in on, build from there. We can see everything from there. We can
Right?
reload games. I don't have to worry about CD keys.
They were the
Computer I
first.
go-
They were the first ones to do great jobs about keeping things up to date, where it just automatically is up to date. You don't have to go look for that newest patch; it's there for you. And you see where it doesn't quite tie right, correct? Because you go to like War Thunder even, and it launches from Steam. You can download it through Steam, but you still have to make an account through what? Gaijin Entertainment is
Yeah.
War Thunder.
Yeah.
and,
Players on
and,
Battleground does too.
and when you actually
Same.
log into it, though, then it does additional updates.
But that's fine.
It's still
it's
not
client-side
the worst
then.
thing, but I wish people would just accept and get fully integrated into the Valve house.
That would be
And I
better.
know that's single point of failure and it's all these things, but so far I've yet to see Valve do evil things. They still are maintaining their do good things policy, and I like it.
well, and then you have Blizzard. What they
Which is
don't
nothing
like
but
doing
evil.
is they don't. So even if they're going to discount the price of the games, and I know it's been very consistent, they refuse to discount their DLCs.
What?
So even if you want to buy a nice new shiny game for $5,
Ugh.
$10, $15, you're still going to be shelling out full retail
It's
for their
because
DLC.
Cractivision. Let us look at everything modern Warcraft that's out there, because all of the CODs are still basically full price.
Well, let's see, like Destiny 2, you can go
Oh, that's
into
right, we were
WoW
talking
and a
about
bunch of
news.
gold, a lot of gold, and buy the game through gold and WoW.
These
But
are the same people who
it's
made the
all-
argument that they got Diablo 3 for free because they continue to sell their soul to WoW.
You still have to pay for the expansion.
But no, so we were talking. So essentially, what's going on is Destiny 2 is now available through the Blizzard store. You can pre-order it there. You'll be able to download it early, and you'll be able to get into the beta that's going to hit like the 28th of next month, I think, for
The PC beta.
The PC beta, and should look gorgeous. They're finally doing what they kind of promised originally when it was announced, and then never
Destiny
followed
2 is
through on,
very
which
pretty.
bring it to PC where it belongs. Get off the consoles, bring your knuckles up off the ground, and show that we can play with a mouse and keyboard. Hey! There's a fork in the background, and they look like they have frozen caffeine.
Wow. Wow. Thanks for the share.
So I'll be curious to see how this goes forward, because yes, it does seem like they're trying to build their own store. I'm not a fan because I can bring up, just get ready for Gamefest, like 5 different launchers for different companies.
That's
And I don't even think I brought up the stuff with the division Ubisoft. That's the one I forgot.
Ubisoft.
I never even opened up
Ubi.
Ubisoft, and the Ubi store is terrible. We know Ubisoft's a terrible company because they make all their money, or they spend all their money on trailers for E3 and not on games. So you get the beautiful trailer for Rainbow Six
Yeah.
Siege, which is a good game, but the lackluster actual game where you're like, why isn't this what you showed me before? It would be still much better. Anyhow, yeah, we don't want more. We don't want more different ways to, or we don't want additional things we have to do to get to all of our content. We want one place, and even if you have to be friends and like tie together a network through, so I just can launch it all from one place. That's all we really want. Come on, be friendly.
But it is nice they went that route where Destiny's going to jump on. They expanded their platform to add games. That's something I never thought they would actually do.
True. But again, like I said, it's the Activision hint. It's the other half of their house. Because it's Blizz Activision, so it doesn't...
I'm afraid to see how big that cumbersome interface is going to become with all the other games are going to probably dump onto this thing.
Right? Everything Activision suddenly just shows up day 2.
Oh, God, let's not go there.
So anyhow, I mean, We'll see what happens. I am actually looking forward to Destiny 2 because it does look pretty. It doesn't look Battlefront pretty, but it does look pretty.
True.
And I know a lot of people like one Akko over there who spent a lot of time in Destiny on the console with all
Destiny's
the other
fun.
And so it could be a good game. Please do it for the PC the right way. Don't port it and make it good because it has all the potential to be a great game.
Yes. I'm still looking for Star Citizen. I mean, if we're going to go anywhere for a game, I really want that.
Chris Roberts, please get 3.0 out already. I so want to play Persistent World.
Yes.
I even did the thing where I showed people videos again.
You did.
I showed the videos again and got people
sold it.
excited. I didn't mean to. That reminds me, I need to race my plane today. Blue's having their competition. I can get a free Aurora.
Yeah, and I need to get on there. Well, I need to upgrade my car from the 970 to at least 1080 because I'm looking at it going.
I played it with
I
the
can run
970.
it.
I played it great with the 970 when I had mine.
I really need to. I've been pushing to upgrade anyway, so this gives me a little chance of, you know what, just go out and do it.
So you say things like that, it makes me think what Campo did, where he's like, "Oh, I've got this 1080 GTX, but
That's right.
that 1080 Ti is out."
I'll take that 1080, no problem. I'll find it.
No, he already bought. Shady already grabbed it from him,
I wouldn't doubt it.
but he's selling a 1060 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Shady will happily sell a 1060 to somebody.
Oh, the trade of upgrade.
Oh, dude, trickle down electronics,
Yep, trickle down electronics.
which takes place here. Built Hyatt's computer almost all through trickle down,
True.
and then because that's basically my old gaming computer almost to a T. And then even here we had several people when they came and set up. We're like, I need a power cord, I need a DVI card, this and that. And they all looked at me like, oh, does anybody? I was like, do you realize what house you're in?
Yeah.
Here, let me take
There's
you
a
back
room.
to the shelf of all things that are pieces and parts of when you build computers. To the point, I don't even think when I go and get stuff of like, oh, I probably need a SATA cord for this like that or something. I'm like, I'm sure I have several SATA cords available.
Again, it's all that community bit. It's the point where someone needs help with this, and there's like a dozen people, hey, I'll ship you what you need.
Well, I always tell people, it's like, before you go do that, let me check. I may have you covered, right?
Hey, I know people who know people. Hey, we'll get you covered. Hey.
That is pretty much my entire existence and value in this world. It's that right there. I know people. You have this thing that you want to accomplish. That's that. I know someone. We get this
The
done.
world of gaming is a very scary environment, but we got you covered with a little bit of insurance.
All you got to do is, send us a little something on the side here that we take care of everything. I do want to do a shout out because I'm reading the IRC back here, and thank you guys for chatting through it as we're talking here. And I have to look over my shoulder to make sure it's all happening because yes, V2WCon should. But I'm actually quite surprised that Grayfield, you lifted your Sonic or your Sega ban. You were playing Sega games again because of Sonic Mania that has come out. I'm a bit surprised in you. You were holding to your guns because the whole idea that Phantasy Star Online 2 has yet to come to America. And by America, I mean the Americas and Canada too. I thought that was going to be a thing forever. It was like, no, Sega, you tease us
sure
with
I have
Phantasy Star Online 2,
portable
your
Japanese
favorite
version.
game ever. So yes, you can play PSO2 online through Japanese means and some hack servers or servers from Southeast that have some English in it. Well, there's actually legit ones in Southeast that do an American or English titles behind it.
Oh, okay.
But it just shows that the game's already done, and really all Sega has to do is pay for some servers.
Yep.
And they could have Phantasy Star Online 2 here today.
I was trying to think. I might have
But
to
it's
dig
Sega.
into it because I have one of the Phantasy Stars for my PlayStation Portable that I bought in Japan. I have several Japanese games. I need to figure out which one exactly I have.
Yeah, I was going to say, those I don't know. I'd have to go through all my old Sega Dreamcast games to look at all the old stuff I have. Like the original Phantasy Star I had on that. Or Phantasy Star Online, sorry.
Nice.
Let's see. What else is going on? Adventures Outside. So took you to the candy store. We did that
Yes.
adventure. As you mentioned, it's like our baby fries. My argument is always that it's better in the sense that it doesn't have any fluff. It's all content and pretty damn solid. The fact that they carry entire shelves of Ubiquity networking blew my mind. Like hardcore network stuff.
Actually, the one guy we talked to was he knew what he
Really
was talking
knowledgeable,
about.
right?
Like Fry's. Again, Fry's is a great business. It has a lot of things, but it's so massive.
Well, it's Fry/Best Buy.
Yeah, it
Right?
is. They're turning over so many people. There's not experts in that store.
Well, I mentioned I saw a guy at the counter that I remember the day he started there because he's an older dude, and he's been there for at least 8, if not 10 years. as a cashier and such, and around the store. I was like, I remember when he started. Not that I go to Micro Center almost exclusively, but if Micro Center, one of the better electronic stores throughout the nation in some select venues, would like to sponsor VTW Productions, Show X, or the Indeed podcast, please let us know. You can reach us online at various places. You can reach me at showx@vtwproductions.com. You can reach Indeed Podcast at
IndeedPodcast@gmail.com.
At which point, feel free to send any kind of offers you'd like our way.
Actually, I really liked the store. There was a lot of flash to it, but the inside was it reminded me very much of they knew the business clientele that they were marketing to.
Well,
and that's what impressed me.
And they
a lot.
carry the right stuff for it. And then when they here's an example. Micro Center, at least here in Colorado, has given up its console gaming section completely. Does not carry, doesn't even have gaming software anymore anywhere around. You can't pick up software titles off the shelf. They have instead made it entirely into a makerspace in the sense that you can get soldering irons, Raspberry Pis, you can get individual LED light kits and stuff like that, down to heat shrink tubes, you name it. Drones, all those kind of things, because they realize that's a more popular market, and where else are you going to get it, especially in the lieu of Radio Shack essentially failing to exist anymore.
Baby, come back.
And so with that, they saw a niche, and they've actually held it up very well. I know I've purchased things there from that side of the house, as well as everything else I get for the show and for everything here. So I love, as I have the story I tell specifically of Fort getting mad at me, the candy store that I go to for electronics, where now understands and is a friend of the candy store, but prior was quite mad at me for calling it that, saying there's no candy here. So that worked out well. I'm trying to think of other things we did. I was mostly around the house. I didn't get out much.
With 3 minutes time left.
Are we there already?
Sir, we are.
Look at what stories do. All right. With that, I want to do a shout out again to the art contest. Please, we need either things written, drawn, photographs, digital wizardry, whatever it may be, around subjects that I'm too lazy to log into the forums to tell you what they are. But you can participate. Just get into the VTW forums, go to vtwproductions.com on the front page right there and click forums. It'll pop you out, log in. It's a free account if you don't have one. It just makes sure it looks like it's coming from a legit source, or I will continue to say no to all the Russians, as I do every day. So get in the art contest. We'll end it whenever we get bored. And then beyond that, I would like each of you to be able to talk about where you can be found if you want to see things. Since thank you for talking. In this case, we all did Gamefest, and I didn't get nearly enough time to talk about all of you. So going around the table, Hyde, where can people find, follow, or what would you like people to know about you?
I do Hide My Error cosplay. I make a lot of stuff and jazz and stuff. I do
jazz player. You didn't realize such a great jazz, like basically lounge singer. You didn't get to hear it really in the rock band time frame. Not the right song selection, but when you hear it, sultry. Just saying. Next.
Bullshit. Oh, far away from the mic. For both Zenko and Ako, we do Zenko Ako cosplay, and we can be found at that name both on Facebook and Instagram, and coming very soon there will be links on there to a prospective makerspace in the Denver area, Guildhall Galatea. So look out for that Facebook page starting hopefully in this coming week.
Which she will be starting.
She
will be the owner.
Guess what will happen?
Motivation.
You don't know. Yes.
Where can you find me? Of course, you can find me at the VTW Productions /Indeed. We're always there. Indeed, also Indeed podcast.com. You'll find us on that. Emails at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook /Indeed podcast. Always there, always willing to talk, always willing to game. If you're looking for gaming, look for me on Steam, Tabaxion, Tabaxion. In fact, I'm all over the web. I'm the only one you'll find that says Tabaxion.
Isn't that a wonderful feeling? I wish I could say the same about Duck Dead. No. I usually am first, and when I'm not, I'm offended. We've talked about this with gaming names. When you go somewhere, it's like, I know my name.
That just is not common. So you can find me through there.
Mine wasn't common, but some people steal it.
Someone out there.
Man, they copied. And of course, you can find me at DeviantArt /Tabaxion.
Yes. And we always talked a little bit Zenko Ako. Did you want to add anything, plug on that at the end?
A couple things. Gamertag Excalus, EXCALUS on Steam. Or when people have stolen my name, it's Dr. DR_.
Don't give it out, otherwise then someone's going to steal that
DAKKA. I have both of them. They can try. Other than that, I have a mini blog, Akko Anime,
please check that out. It's awesome.
AKKOANIME. That's one of my other hobbies where I've watched over 300 titles and counting, and I put miniature reviews when I find time to do it.
And they're very good, very well done out reviews. They're like, what? Wait, what? This is one person's site? It looks more like the effort of many. So it is pretty dang cool. And with that, we want to thank you guys for tuning in and hearing a little bit of the wrap-up nonsense that is Gamefest. Sorry that you all can't be here every time, but I can only fit so many people. Just saying. Beyond that, afterwards, please, there will still be people gaming here. Check the TeamSpeak, check the Discord. Hando has already put it out in the IRC. He would love to play some more War Thunder with anybody who is willing. So check that out.
I'll see what I can do, buddy. I got a pack, but later in the week, I definitely want to do some more.
Yeah, we do unfortunately have other people that will have to start making their way out, and I have to secure you a ride.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that thing that I should have done on Thursday when everyone was here. That's all right. We'll get this worked, since some of us, like me, are going to be at a concert. All right, so thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Show X on VTWProductions.com. We love having you, and we will catch you again next week. Should work out just fine. Weekend after that will likely be a challenge because I will be in Atlanta, and we'll be dying in the heat in a big fluffy coat that I haven't made yet. So that's happening. All right, everybody. Check you again next time. Have a good week. Bye. And I need to, there's buttons and stuff I have to hit. Because I wanted to say other things.
Click.
Right there. I have to do the thing and the place, and I forgot the part.
Good stuff.
Boom.
No, it's happening. It's happening. You wait. And I do the thing where I say...
That's what she said.
Hey.
No. There it is. What? And I can say, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you next zombie.